me know when we're engaged.
Peggle.
Pegging.
We will soon be married.
Pegging.
Welcome to 2019, the year of pegging. Brought to you by NoQuarters.net.
I'm glad to sponsor something.
Feels good. I mean, be sponsoring somebody. I don't know about the other thing.
Well, we'll find out. In this,
I mean,
the
yeah,
year
it
of
is.
our Lord.
It's only February, so you know, there's plenty of time.
More like Peguary.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
I'm wary of pegging you.
Bend over, here it comes again. It's Peguary.
I'm sure they have, like, Happy Pegging Day cards at Hallmark.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Why wouldn't you?
There's certainly going to be some marks on your hull.
Yeah. I had you pegged as my perfect match.
Oh, yeah.
You got to romanticize the pegging a little bit.
Why don't you come over tonight? I'll take you down a peg.
What is that?
What?
Oh, somebody tapping
Oh,
something?
I was.
He's getting
tapping.
pegged.
Yeah.
I was getting pegged.
Oh.
Foot pegging.
Tweet.
That's 2020. Foot pegging.
Foot pegging?
Yeah.
Oh, man, 2020 could be foot shit.
Foot shit?
Not foot shit, not foot scat. but
Yeah.
Foot things.
I was going to say,
Shit
is
on my
that
foot,
not what I just
maybe.
said?
Foot things.
Foot pegging.
Things about,
Shit on my foot.
if you insist.
Foot shit.
Do, 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 do.
20.
And once again, we wonder why nobody tunes in.
Yeah. 2020 is the year for eye stuff.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We
You
do
just
this
get pink
podcast
eye.
for ourselves. We don't give a shit about.
That's true.
If we did, we'd put out
This is
good
more
content.
so we can reason through why we play terrible games sometimes. Oh. Unlike our movie podcast, which is about good movies.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoyable
the
times.
bad movies. It's like listening to the podcast in another room.
We're gonna be 80 in here. You guys remember the robot jocks?
I don't.
You guys remember video games?
You remember yesterday?
No.
I remember.
Oh, someone's here.
Who's here?
Who's here?
Lies.
I remember. I remember when I used to remember stuff.
I remember that.
Will we all laugh like that? I hope not.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, our entire
yeah.
demeanor will change.
I mean, it's hard to make a normal laugh anymore. My bowels don't work. My eyes fell out.
That's kind of funny.
My eyes fell out 7 years ago.
Oh, you can do the eye stuff in 2020.
My teeth are snakes now.
Man, you're gonna get weird. Old weird.
Old weird.
Yeah.
Old weird. Weird old.
Just playing.
Yeah. Kids today don't know how to get old.
Got a cybernetic butthole.
Yeah, millennials are killing the getting old.
Yes.
Nah.
They're killing
Aging.
getting
Yeah.
elderly.
So video games, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Video games are a thing.
They are.
I've
Been
heard
a,
of them.
been a hell of a month for video games. Suddenly February is the hot video game month.
Hot video games.
They heard us say, fuck you, October.
Fucktober.
Stop releasing all the games right
Oh my
before
God.
Christmas.
Right. That means they want them all in February.
Gotta get them out for Valentine's.
Top chat. Top cat. Live chat. Top cat. Pop out chat. Top cat.
People left.
Bye.
Hi.
Goodbye,
Talking
friends.
about pegging and foot stuff.
It wasn't foot stuff. It was shitting on feet.
That
foot
is
stuff.
foot stuff.
Yeah.
Foot stuff.
Don't tell me what I can and can't do with my feet.
Hashtag foot stuff.
So should we talk about video games?
Fuck no.
That's why we're here.
Oh.
Right?
Did someone post it in the Discord where all our fan are?
Just someone posted on the Twitter.
I tweeted.
It
I-
was.
You did?
I
didn't
retweeted
want
it.
the tweet
Posted.
thing.
I retweet. It's
Let me
there.
let me do that. I also like, rate, subscribe.
I gotta tell you, I only got about halfway through our Let's Slay of Alien versus Predator.
Yeah, it was a chore to edit.
Yeah, because it just never fucking ended.
No, it doesn't. It just went on.
And then eventually there's just a point where we're just like, yep.
It's more aliens.
Literally 10 minutes in was when the fourth mission popped up where it was like
Go kill the queen.
where it was like Queen's End, and you're like, well, this is a short video game.
Yeah.
And man, another 45
Then it's
goddamn minutes.
45 minutes of me hitting the button that makes him go, fuck,
Fuck.
fuck,
Fuck.
fuck.
Fuck. Yeah.
I approve of that button.
Yeah.
Despite that, I still like video games.
Yeah, video games are still all right.
They're fine.
We should talk about something.
All right.
They're fine.
You want to do it?
We should talk about how they enter the room.
Sure.
Oh. I've had 3 cowboys and the big one.
Surprise clap.
Not give us a proper one.
Are we recording?
Okay. Yes.
Roll- you rolling?
We are rolling. Speed. Speed.
Okay.
Welcome to No Quarters, episode 103.
It's a motherfucking video game podcast.
You damn right.
Brought to you by video games.
As usual.
And
I'm Mac.
and motherfucking.
I'm
Oh.
BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And I'm Harlow.
Oh,
And,
we're
and
just
Harlow.
all talking all over
You-
each other.
Yeah.
sometimes. Why not?
Well,
We don't know. We've
Yeah.
never done this before.
We're back. It's
Season 2.
It's 2019.
Yeah.
It's time to talk about video games.
Finally.
Yeah. We had waited so many years for this to happen, but
Yeah.
now it's here.
I would like to report with some glee that I have played a video game this year.
We all did. Like, this is a very, like, this is like an old school episode. It's like, wait, everybody's got a new game.
We've all got the
some
same
we've
of
all
one
played.
game, which
Yeah.
is that literally hasn't
Specifically
happened in
old
a
school.
year. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So let's start off with one that not all of us played.
Okay.
Trials Rising.
Yeah, that came out yesterday.
Yeah,
as
I
of this
bought it,
recording.
and I didn't get to download it in time to play it. So
I did.
tell me,
I downloaded it from work.
you're smart.
I did. Yeah.
I preloaded it.
I forgot it was out, and then I saw it on the dashboard, and I was like, oh, shit, Trials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
let's
did
do
kind of
that.
sneak it out there.
Yeah, and I was like, 32 gigs. Guess I'll come back later.
Holy shit, 32 gigs. That's
Yeah.
like real video game size. Most
I know.
Trials games could fit on a reasonably sized thumb
Think
drive.
about how you freaked out about a patch for, I believe it was DC Universe Online being like 10 gigs.
Oh, I still freak out over huge fucking
It was that
patches
or
like
Star
that.
Trek. It was one of the online games.
It was one of
Oh,
those
it
It
MMOs
was like
nobody
13
plays.
gigs.
Yeah.
And that was the episode title.
Yep.
Long ago.
And here we are. 32 gigs gets you a
motorcycle physics game.
motorcycle physics game.
There's a
throttle
lot of-
control game.
There's a lot of graphics going on in Trials Rising. I'll
And
say that.
So it has more graphics than usual.
Yes.
All
Right on the box.
twice
more
twice
graphics.
twice the graphics as before.
Did they fix the level 3 graphics at least?
No.
Yeah.
No, they're still pretty loose.
Yeah. But no, there's a lot of stuff you can't look at while you're trialsing going on. For the benefit of people hanging out watching you play Trials, there is some crazy shit going on.
I like that.
So it's Trials. It's more Trials.
So just more tracks.
Yes.
Is it? Have they come back from the future? Man, machine. The future.
Sorry.
They have.
We fucked it up because I couldn't stop laughing.
No.
Just say the future again, please.
The future.
Yes.
Yes.
I think
Or
so.
is it the fusion? I always
No,
forget.
it was Fusion was the name of the game, but
Yeah.
they were talking about the future.
I
right?
thought they were talking about man, machine, the
future.
fusion.
the fusion.
No, it's the future, right?
One word.
I think we've had this
They don't-
debate before.
Yeah,
and
they don't
we
say
never
future
resolved
twice.
it.
Yeah. Welcome
Yeah.
to the future, man, machine.
So
the
is this
fusion.
one in the future, or is this like back to, hey, we're normal people?
It's in
now?
Trials world. Who the hell knows when
Okay.
or where this is? I mean, there's some fucking crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like there's a Hollywood level that's basically like the entirety of the Stuntman game in one Trials track.
It's about time.
It's just you just run through this 2-minute track, which is basically 6 different stunts, and they all just kind of happen as you're going.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it's just like, yeah, cut.
Yep. Now
yeah,
you're dead.
and then your guy crashes into a wall.
Yes.
And
Yeah, I
the
think you
round's
actually
over.
fall into like a cement. Put your hands.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You just fall face first into the cement and stick there. And but it's Trials. I mean,
Yeah, the map overlay is weird. Like I don't remember how you navigated Fusion.
Fusion had blocks.
Okay.
It was like, here's a hub world,
Right,
and
right,
here are
right.
the 3 chapter blocks
Yeah.
in it, and then you just go into it, and it's like, here's the track.
Yeah, this has like a world map and if
It's like the crew map.
kind of like, but it's like it's the whole world.
Yeah.
And it's a little confusing to figure out where you need to go next or what you've done. Basically, what I've come to is because so you have tracks and you're trying to get gold, and there's actually a secret platinum. When you score your first platinum,
Yeah.
it suddenly goes, hey, yeah, it wasn't just bronze, silver, gold. There was
Yeah.
platinum all along, and all of a sudden they start showing you how far along you were to a hidden platinum. So there's that, and so you're trying to do that just to set your best times on each track. But then there are also contracts, like you get sponsors, and the first ones are like Ubisoft and Red Links.
Yeah.
The people that made the game are sponsoring you,
Uh-huh.
and they'll just be like, we want you to do this track, but do it under 60 seconds and don't fault more than twice, or do 6 backflips and also don't fault more than 6 times, or something.
So
like
basically, like your gold requirements in the old ones, anyway. Or I actually should say silver. Gold was almost always you can't wreck ever.
that. Yeah, so like there's these, so like you're setting your track times and all that to get your medal, but then you also have these little things which will have you replaying certain tracks, and sometimes there'll be more than one contract on it. So what's a little weird is like when you're looking at the overworld map, you'll see these icons, and if you don't have any contracts there, it's just a medal, and it's like, okay, I've cleared that one up, I don't have
Yeah.
to go there. But it's kind of annoying that like there's just these people that will keep popping up, and it's like, did I do that track or not? And it's
There's
just
not
a-
a good indication of what you've done and what you haven't. The thing that I've been able to figure out is that the ones that you haven't done are in red. The ones that you have done are either bronze, gold, or silver, depending on what medal you have. But still, just looking at the map, it's not intuitive to really let you know what you've done until you go and hover over an icon. But
Yeah,
that's
I guess what
a
I'm saying is
minor.
like I don't know when we decided that we couldn't just have a list of races. Like we had to have cutesy things. Like I mean, open world
Yeah.
is one thing. Like I mean, unless it's a stupid open world like LA Noire, where it's just like we made an open world so you can go from mission to mission. It's like, yay, But like this is like we've made this complex map, and it's more obtuse than just looking at a list of what you've done. I feel like
you got UI designers out there,
Yeah.
got to do something.
sure.
I mean,
but
it's-
it's fine. It's not awful. It's just I just kind of wish we'd just go back to like I don't remember which trials it was. It was just like you had a ramp, and it was like as you're going up the
Yeah.
ramp, it's like this gets harder.
I think that was the first one.
Yeah. So
Trials,
that was
yeah.
that was fine. Like
Yeah.
I just
But that game was made for a quarter. Also, I mean, that game was made by 3 guys in a barn.
but yeah, then
They
you
did a good job.
Yeah.
the thing is I'll say about it, and I'm sorry if I'm stepping all over
no,
your opinions, is this feels to me like the first time they were like, let's make Trials a real honest to goodness game. Because
Instead of like an Xbox Live Arcade.
yeah,
sort
I
of
mean the other
thing.
one's like
Yeah.
I mean it's still $25 for the base game, $40 if you want all the bonus shit. But like this one, loading menus are giving you tips about how to play. There's a whole Trials University system you go through that are teaching you all the skills. And like everywhere you're looking, it's like, hey, don't just mash the gas the entire time. That's not actually always the fastest. Like getting air looks cool, but you're wasting time. Things like that. It's just like this one. I feel like for the first time is actually trying to teach you how to play
the
Trials.
school thing has been I mean, some parts of it you'd figured out from
Right.
previous trials, but other things is like how there's always been a track that you get to where it's just like the quitting point for most people who just like to pull on the gas and go. Where there's a jump you get to that for some reason you just can't get. And one of the early lessons in the academy thing is explaining like, here's why you can't make that jump.
Yeah,
Here's
if
the
you
physics
lean
thing
at
you
this
got to
point
do.
and then lean this way at the other point,
Yeah.
you'll get more forward
Yeah.
momentum and things like that.
And
So-
then it just gives you a million opportunities to do it.
Right.
And it's like, okay, I get it now. Now I'll remember that when I see that jump, I'm like, yeah, I need to do this.
yeah,
So
like I said, this one feels like the first time they're trying to make it a real video game. I guess if we want to talk about negatives, because I'll go ahead and get it out of the way, because I do like this game, and I'm going to go pack around to positives, but loot crates, they're there.
it's all bullshit, though.
I mean, yeah,
It's all like rider customization.
it's rider
that sort of
customization
thing.
stuff. I mean, the thing that's a little annoying is, I don't have a problem with loot crates by and large. What I have a problem with in this is, to me, loot crates should be a way to have a free bonus for playing the game, periodically. Like, hey, you hit a new level, so here's a free thing that will unlock some stuff. But what annoys me in this is like you have other in-game currency that you're, every ride you're getting gold, Trials gold point things,
Gears
whatever
or
gears,
whatever they
yeah.
are,
And so you go in the store and you're like, hey, I really want the praise the sun animation from Dark Souls for my guy at the loading screen. And it's like, yeah, okay, you can buy that for 5,000 gears. But then there are other ones that's like, no, you have to get that out of a loot crate.
Yeah.
Or there are ones that are like, nope, you only can get that from I don't know why, but fucking acorns.
That's the one you have to buy.
Yeah, acorns are like the literally like cash, and the exchange rate. I look just for shits and giggles is fucking ridiculous. Like it's like pay
So
$5.
it's one of those.
Well, I mean, it's basically like pay $5 for a item, like an outfit item.
Yeah.
Like because it's almost all of them are like 20, 30, acorn things, and yeah, like a 20 or 30 pack of acorns is like $5. It's like, what the fuck? Like,
I think this thing is following the Overwatch model.
Sure.
Of it's all cosmetic stuff, but if you want the cool thing, you're gonna have to pay for it. And there's just some stuff that you can only get if you pay for.
And that's
it's
like I said, it's a little annoying. I did when I went in the Ubisoft club or whatever. I unlocked like 10 acorns for free using points from past games.
Yeah.
So I did buy a thing that was unlock only.
Yeah.
But I was just like, all right, I got to buy something that's you can't buy with gears because I'm probably never getting acorns ever again. So
Right.
let me look at something that's acorn currency only and buy that.
Yeah. I wish they gave you the ability to turn that off so that you could just see the stuff that either you're going to get through progression or stuff that you will eventually have enough gears to buy.
Right.
But the way it's presented when you're scrolling through the store is just like, here's a thing that
weird.
costs 9,000 gears. Here's a thing that you will get at level 97.
Yeah.
Here's a thing that costs 20 acorns.
Also, you can sell like sort of like Burnout and all these other things. Forza, I guess more Forza really, but like people will design or customize an item with stickers and colors and whatnot, and then they can sell that in the store.
Yeah.
And it usually goes for a premium over what the normal standard item is.
Yeah. It's
So,
it's
I mean,
kind of
it's-
clunky, but it's
I'm
not
just saying, like
the most
I'm talking
offensive
about
thing.
potential negatives.
Sure.
Also, I don't know why we decided we needed this as a whole in racing games, but like the randomized sort of like almost Drivatar thing is
Racing Ghosts.
The ghosts.
yeah, like the racing ghosts is it's annoying. Like thankfully, like any ones that are like
Well, they've always had that though.
kind of, but it's usually been like, let me challenge your friends. This will be like, hey, you're
Right.
you're in a race with other ghosts from 5 other actual people. Come in second place. So if it's just a random luck of the draw, you may have 5 fucking trials masters.
From my experience, the ghosts they pick for you have been pretty close to your level because no one has just like fucking taken off and I've been unreachable.
I have had.
Really?
So
Okay.
it's weird. Like I will say because like I played it last night when I got home and I stopped and ate dinner and did other things. And then I came back like 4 hours after that, and I noticed the ghosts are getting progressively harder the more people are playing. That's what's kind of annoying.
People are unlocking the
ghosts are
faster
getting
bikes
harder.
yeah.
later on.
Did you, when you started the game, did you say Xbox people only, or did you say match me up with?
I said
anybody?
everything, and then when I came across like somebody that was just demolishing me, I was like, oh, someone's got a cheat engine on PC, so fuck that crossplay shit.
Okay.
And I turned that off.
Okay.
Because I was like, okay, Trials isn't an FPS, so it's like you're not really getting that. But then I was like, yeah, there's motherfuckers out there running cheat engine on PC, so fuck crossplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, so I was just like immediately I said like no, Xbox only, and that helped a little, but it feels like the longer I wait to play, things are getting harder. The ghosts are getting harder to beat, especially when it's a beat them. Most of the time, when it's like a crucial, come and beat this other rider, they'll give you a Ubisoft made up rider guy.
Yeah.
Like I think Bronze Baby is the first one.
Yes.
you continually have to beat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like that's not a person. That's a Ubisoft thing.
Yeah. And that people will have like you can figure it out because there's like a Ubisoft logo in their name, so that's how you know it's a
Is it Ubisoft? I always said Ubisoft.
Ubi.
Ubi.
Is it Ubi?
Actually, I
thought it
think
was
it's
Ubi.
Is it Ubi? If I've been saying it wrong, I'm sorry.
Pretty sure it's Ubi.
Ubisoft.
Ubi Dooby Soft.
Yeah,
Ubi
I went
Dooby.
to
Sounds like you're
Roy
insulting
Orbison
someone.
pronunciation of
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft,
But
dog.
what else? There feels like there was one other negative thing I was going to say. And then I was going to
Minigames.
get onto the positive. No, minigames are freaking
No,
awesome.
minigames are dope.
Yeah, minigames rule.
The very first one you do is I want to do that one thing over and over again, which is
Yeah.
just like you hit a ramp and you launch yourself off of it, and then it's just there are exploding barrels every certain amount
yes,
of
I saw
50
that.
meters or whatever, and you just have to guide your ragdoll body to hit one of those so it explodes further.
It really
Like-
feels like pain stuck in
Yes.
the trials, basically.
Yeah, or a flat out, or one of those things where you just ragdoll physics dumb bullshit. Those are great. I love those.
That was my first platinum.
That was mine too. The exploding barrel thing was when I unlocked the.
Yeah, I
platinums.
actually like because it goes downhill and then all of a sudden it starts going back up again, and I was like, oh, and I'm still going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just had one of those like weird like runs where it's just like that's good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I don't have anything else negative to say.
It's Trials. It's
Yeah.
it's fun. It's gussied up, like you said. It's it feels more like a video game. I think the map stuff in there is probably Ubisoft just being like, we make maps for all our games. You don't have to climb a tower in this, but you're gonna have to look at a goddamn map. I think that's Ubisoft.
So now that I've got my negatives out of the way, I want to talk about positives.
Okay.
Because I do think this is a great Trials game.
It is.
There are some really fun, dumb things. Not only level wise, because there are. I'm trying to think of like the craziest level I've seen so far. That Dutch windmill one is up there. Because like
That
there's-
one's really neat.
There's a real weird one where like you're jumping into a windmill that starts up as soon as you hit it, and you've got to like sit in between the two fans. What would you call those? The blades.
Blades.
Sure.
Sure.
And just like wait for it to turn to just the right point, and then launch yourself off. And I don't know. There's really interesting giant set piece things in this.
There's one level that ends with like a space elevator. Like you hit
elevator.
You hit this barrier, and it's like you clearly can't go any further. And then it's like, what do I do now? And then this thing just launches into the stratosphere, and you get collected into like this giant space balloon.
That's actually the finish line.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also there's one in like Russia where you crash into like a giant nuke at the end, and
Yes, and then it
actually
shoots
actually
off.
launches
Yeah.
off. And
There's like a construction level where the finish line is just you smashing into a wrecking ball. Like the wrecking ball is literally wrapped with checkerboard flag, and that's the finish line is just smacking that thing.
yeah, they've found fun and creative new ways for your rider to die at the end of the race, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, you die real good a
They
lot.
love doing that
Yeah,
with
yeah.
all of it. But
It's such a weird thing because like nothing up until that moment suggests that the Trials world is something violent. It's just people hanging around on a course like, yeah, go, woo, and then you just get to this thing where you land in a pool of nitroglycerin and it explodes, and,
Yeah.
you're like- and everyone's like,
So-
yay!
so neither of you have made it to the point where it's like, nah, fuck this thing.
Not yet.
Oh no, not even
Okay.
close.
No. There's a
Because I do
million
wonder,
tracks in this
like,
thing.
yeah, how far they'll let you go before they suddenly slip back into that.
Probably about
before
2/3
they,
of the
before
game.
they brick wall you.
Well, there are, I want to say, 16 different levels of their Trials University thing, teaching you techniques and stuff.
Okay.
So, I played like 2 hours worth and maybe only unlocked the first 5 or 6,
yeah.
and so far none of that. Like I saw some of the later ones are like, here's how advanced bunny hopping works, and I'm like, man, fuck that. They
is-
show you little clips of like, man, do you want to be a Trials master? I'm like, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like all that stuff. I got decent at that sort of thing, like
Yeah.
throttle control and feathering and bunny hopping and all that. But it's just like, why?
Yeah.
There's a certain point where you're like, this isn't even fun. Like
Even-
it feels like when I actually pull it off, it was luck more than anything.
Yeah.
But even when you get kind of like good, I guess, at Trials, so like I think everybody is capable of being okay at Trials, and you can probably get through the first half of the game, and then good is between the half and 2/3 mark, and the 2/3 mark is where it turns into just insane mastery. But like even getting good at it, there's such a small part of the game that good at it makes you feel super good.
Yeah.
Because then you run right into that mastery like curve. It's a really strange curve of skill for Trials. But you run into that brick wall of mastery, and you just like, okay, I can bunny hop a little bit, but I can't bunny hop 5 times in a row and
Yeah.
then get up on one wheel and do a standing backflip onto a ledge that I have to then bunny hop across and
I kind of wish
whatever
Trials.
94 different
Yeah.
finicky sequences I required.
I wish those games would just do a thing where it's like 2/3 of the way through they roll credits. Like, okay, average Trials player, you have completed Trials.
Yeah.
This unlocks Trials Plus, and then I would just be like, yeah, no, thank you. I defeated
Now the-
Trials. I'm done.
Now the
Yeah.
real Dark Trials has
yeah,
begun.
it's like I don't want that.
Yeah, like beating Super Meat Boy, where it opens like, okay, you thought those were hard.
Yeah.
Here are the whatever it
Yeah.
was, like Pink Alley levels or whatever the fuck they called it, where it was just like brutal punishment.
And I appreciate. I'm glad it's there for people who like it.
Yeah.
But most people are never going to see that content, and I don't want any part of it. Like I always get to a point in Trials where I'm like, yep, I understand that's how conceptually that works. I want no part of it. I want to just go and do crazy shit. And this patience of like, okay, now you're on a conveyor belt and you've got to balance back and forth and make sure you don't hit a certain speed, and then you got to wait for this thing to come down and then you jump. It's like, no, no part of that. But I haven't gotten there yet. So
Yeah.
So one thing, I haven't tried this yet, but I really can't wait to. There's a tandem bike.
yes, I've seen some people do that.
And
We
I-
should do that before we leave.
I just feel
for
like
the
that's
evening.
that's hilarious. Like co-leaning and like, all right, we're backflipping, go, stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause you could totally fuck each other up,
and-
or you get like a crazy bonus
And
doing it.
Along that line, I just because so many games are coming out with stupid, dumb peripheral things like Pokeballs and other things like real world dumb things. Not that I actually really want this, but part of me wants some sort of wearable because I want to know how much I physically lean when I play Trials. Like because I'm like
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
like yeah I'm like
it's the old school. Your guy doesn't jump unless you're flipping the
Oh,
Nintendo controller.
I
up in the
seriously
air
like
with
last
your
night. I
arms.
was actually kind of hurt after playing Trials for like 2 hours
Yeah.
because I'd been leaning in weird ways so hard so long,
Yep.
and it was like I was kind of like man, like because I think what made me think about it is the Trials University levels actually have a little gas brake and your lean thing that you can rewatch and see what you did. And
Yeah.
you know it'll kind of correct you and be like, "Yeah, don't do it so much here." It's just like it kind of gets to this nitty gritty. And I was like, "Man, I want one of those for like me," like because I just constantly am like, lean, it'll help. It doesn't
Yeah.
help.
We can
So-
just like tape a cell phone to your chest
Yeah.
and have it.
Yeah. Get your gyro meter going.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Get your gyros.
I never played Trials of the Blood Dragon. Was it like a stopgap between Fusion and this?
It's like I think if you want to play a Trials game that you can finish, that's kind of the one.
It is, yeah.
because it's like it's super simple and it's meant more as a story medium than a like punishingly hard physics game thing.
It had some legit Trials
Oh, yeah,
levels in
yeah.
it, like absolute legit. Like this is Trials, and then all of a sudden it was like weird platforming shooting bits, and you're like,
Okay.
but with the Trials engine, so like your dude would kind of move like a bike. It was weird. It wasn't broken or unplayable. It was just this is
Just
odd.
weird.
Yeah,
I enjoyed my time with
I
it.
yes, I played through that game and had a pleasant time.
I
playing
need
it.
to give that one a shot.
It's a very
It's been
short.
sitting on my hard drive
Yeah.
for like 2 years now. I think it was.
It's short and worth it.
It's got the same soundtrack as actual Blood Dragon.
It
The same
does.
people, or not the same soundtrack, but the same synthwave band came and did
Yeah.
that one too.
And you're Michael Bean's kids, basically, in that he like sends you on a mission or something at the beginning, or he's missing or dead or something, and they have to go find him.
Yeah.
It's all obviously made in Europe, and everyone's not a native English speaker, so that kind of
Oh,
adds
my
to the
favorite.
joy. But yeah, it's all right. So
Okay.
I guess that's all I have to say about Trials.
yeah, it's it's good. It's Trials. Trials
All right.
has yet to fuck up,
Well, that's good to hear.
and so far this does not. feel like it's
Debatably,
fucked
some
up.
people think it has, but yeah. Also, I mean,
Whatever.
there is the mobile game, so it kind of has fucked
Oh
up a little
well,
bit.
Yeah.
but it's a mobile game.
That
It
mobile
is.
game is probably made by like 4 people in China. Who knows?
Yeah.
Don't worry about the mobile game.
Right.
Mobile games will never be relevant.
Huh. You're right. I not like our next game.
Yeah.
Sneer.
Crackdown 3.
Finally.
Why didn't we lead with Crackdown 3? We all played Crackdown 3.
I don't know. I
Trials
think we
Rising
wanted
came
to.
out yesterday.
Who cares?
You were just going by release date?
Sure.
Is that how you-
Crackdown,
okay, all right.
Either way, Crackdown 3. We all
Stop,
played
let
it.
Chuck
We
run.
did, yeah.
Man,
Do you know what Crackdown 3 is?
fun.
Well, most importantly,
More Crackdown.
you're goddamn right it is. And do you know what I like?
More Crackdown.
You're goddamn right I do.
Yeah. I mean,
All
you know, this is one of those weird like things where like you read the reviews and they're all like, yeah, 2 stars. You should probably just play the old one if you really want to do it. And it's like,
No, it's more Crackdown. We've already played that old Crackdown. That's old and
It's-
busted. This is new hotness.
not really.
No, it's.
I mean, that's
it's
the
the
thing.
same hotness.
It's new and busted.
Yeah, that's the
Yes.
thing. Is
It's busted as the old Crackdowns were.
I know.
it is basically just, hey, we took the game from 2007, and you know what?
It looks a little better.
We plugged it back in,
I think
and
it looks a lot
controls. It controls just as janky.
Yes,
It has the same flaws,
the
but you
driving
know what?
sucks.
It's one of those games that's like, we don't care if you didn't like Crackdown. Enough people did, and we want to reach them. And
Yeah.
that's what Crackdown 3 feels like. Is it's like we're just going to satisfy those people that wanted Crackdown. And that's
Yeah.
kind of, I mean, if
That's
that
kind of
was
what
their
Crackdown
goal,
2 was.
it was
It's
kind
like,
of
here's Crackdown, but with a couple more features, and this is here's Crackdown 2 with a couple more features. A couple things pared down a little bit, but
yeah. I mean, the problem with Crackdown 2 was it was kind of the same city, just like rearranged slightly, and with just dumb zombies running around all the time. So you always had to deal with them instead of just okay, I went into a gang zone and gangs are attacking me, which,
Yeah.
this one is very much like, all right, we're just going back to what Crackdown 1 did pretty well, which is leveling up your dude, and then when your dude gets really high level, you can do some really awesome, fun shit. And we've just given you this giant-ass sandbox to do it in.
I don't think I'm even halfway through I don't know what the levels go up to.
They say 5, but there's actually a 6th.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a max level after 5.
Okay, so I'm actually closing in on being way too fucking overpowered, and I'm only halfway through the city.
That's the point, though.
Yeah, that's
The
good.
point
though.
is to
That's
be
good. That's
Superman
good.
by the end of it.
I thought that I was like way too. I wasn't sure where I was, but knowing that I'm about where I should be, because I've figured out sort of the zen of boss fights at this point, and there was one that pissed me off. It took me 20 minutes to get through, and then some movement jank fucked me, and I died, and I got really mad. I was like, fuck this game. It's 3 o'clock. I'm going to bed. I was like, no, fuck this boss. I'm gonna finish it. And I did it in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And something like I saw the Matrix on beating the shit out of the bosses and everybody else.
Have I not encountered a boss? Because like the boss you mean are like the people that come in like that little like
The
hierarchy
lieutenants.
tree. Yeah.
Yeah. Those people.
Oh, do they get hard eventually? Because it's like.
Yes.
Oh no, I just mean like I think I faced like 2 or 3 of them and they were like not much harder than an average.
The
dude.
early ones are very easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're about to get butthole hard.
Oh.
Well, it's not
probably
only
gonna
that,
take your
it's
word
like,
for that.
Yeah.
not only are they hard, but they're like surrounded by 75 guys with
Yeah.
like rocket launchers and shit.
That's the
Yeah.
problem, is that there's a million dudes.
I'll say this since you're probably not going to play any more of it. You know how, like, especially the later levels of Just Cause 3 and 4 are just like you're trying to do a thing and there's just an endless wave of dudes shooting at you.
Right.
And it's just like, stop shooting at me. I just need to go push the button. It's kind of like that. There's just nonstop dudes. Now, you can eventually clear them out and then calmly go do the thing, but it has that same level of fucking stop. Just let me do the thing.
The important thing for me was to just patently ignore all those people and just
You can run by a lot of people.
keep moving
Yeah.
and shoot the boss.
Yeah.
If you keep moving and shoot the boss with whatever your heaviest weapon is, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So I find it funny that was it just the last episode that we were bemoaning that there are no more B tier games.
That was me.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is 100% a B tier game.
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing is that at the time, when we lived in a pre-Crackdown 3 world, it was the notion of what this game was going to be was the accumulation of 4 years of production, and it was going to be the, oh my god, Microsoft savior, because
they were selling it. They were selling Azure with Crackdown 3.
right, I know,
I mean,
but
that's fucking crazy to think about. That because
they've
that's
been
around a
hyping
long
it.
time now.
Yeah, but they've been hyping it so long, and it's been in production for so long. You're like, man, Crackdown 3 is going to come out, and it's going to be amazing. This version of Crackdown 3 feels like something they scrapped together in 18 months, and we're just like, we got to get something out with the Crackdown 3 name on it, get it out there, because if this took that long, that's crazy. Because what this basically is all of the side missions in like a Saints Row 3 without any of the main story missions. This is just take over territory, clear it out.
Yeah.
That section of the map is clear, move on to something else. That's really all it is. There are no, like, the story missions in this are side missions in other games. They're hardly significant at all. And for me, this became a game of just like, man, I don't care what anyone's saying. I don't care whatever the world state is in this. Who cares? That's a bad guy. I'll go kill that guy. Whatever.
The game doesn't care either, because you don't get cutscenes. You just get like basically comic panels
Exactly.
going past.
And that's a telltale sign of, oh, this was slapped together. It's like the Far Cry DLC. Like, those cutscenes are not rendered. They are just comic panels. And I'm like, okay, this didn't make it.
I think they like built the city
Sure.
and then
I think they put all the orbs in it, and then they were like, now what?
they were like, I don't really feel inspired to write this, but we got Terry Crews, so we got to do something. So I don't know. Let's just make him say fuck a lot and
Yeah.
have
Fuck
a
you,
bunch
Gravity.
of mini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Gravity.
Fuck you, Gravity is my favorite.
thing.
Yes.
Pretty good.
Every
I
time.
don't mind that he says it every 3 minutes.
it's wonderful. Even when like I'm just hanging on a ledge or something, like fuck you, Gravity.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Right on.
All right.
Yeah.
Let
like,
me.
did anyone not use Terry Crews?
Why would you use anybody but
Yeah, I don't know why anybody.
Terry Crews?
Apparently, they all have other skills.
Who
But
gives
who
a
cares?
shit?
Yeah,
I mean,
who
the
cares?
only thing I looked at is like,
Their experience grows faster.
yeah, their experience grows faster in those other things, and
Yeah.
but then I was like, I don't care.
Look, after that opening cutscene, which is the most Bamfcasty thing in video
Yeah.
games of the last
Yeah.
like 10 years, if you're not picking Terry Crews, what are you doing? Like after that clearly mocap sequence of him coming in and Terry cruising up the place, just if you don't pick him, what's wrong with you?
Right.
I was fully like, yeah, I'll try one of these other characters later, but
Oh, you're
yeah.
gonna pick Jonas over
Right, exactly.
fucking Jackson.
This lady's a
Thrustmaster or
good
whatever.
driver. I'm like, who gives a fuck? I'm not
name?
going to drive
His
around in
name's,
this.
Like Jackson something.
Yes, Commander Jackson.
Yeah.
All right, let me.
And he's got a Daddy Duck tattoo. Well, it's not a tattoo. It's like a hollow,
hollow
tattoo.
tattoo.
I want a Daddy Duck hollow tattoo. Fuck that.
Yes. Quack, quack,
All right,
motherfucker.
let me
Mother Ducker.
Let me mildly poop on this game, and then you can get back
Sure,
to loving
sure.
on it.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying because I don't want to end it on me like, I don't know. All right, here's the thing. I think I've managed to put it together like why I don't care about Crackdown 3. Crackdown the first and even the second to some extent came out at a time to me when I was totally in love with most AAA games. I was like playing everything, and it was like that was like the refreshing like bad movie of video games. It was like, yeah, this is really janky and fun, and it's stupid and it's inconsequential. And now I'm just like, to me, AAA games are nearly as broken as this. They're not fun anymore. They're all this like, you know, just nihilistic bullshit. Like, oh, you don't want to have fun, and I understand that like this is supposed to be the power trip fantasy that I've been wanting, but the game is to me is just so hollow. I was like, I don't care. Like, I mean, to me, it was like a Skinner box city. Like you said, it was like, go over here, do this, and it was like, now rinse, repeat 20 more times as you unlock new territories. And I was just
Yeah.
like, nah.
Yeah, well, it's much like MMOs. It's like either you like what the grind is or you don't.
Yeah, and I mean,
And-
I didn't hate it. I kind of hit a point where I was just like, I don't want to play this. Like, I mean, it was just like,
Yeah.
I don't care. Like,
Yeah, and I hit a point where I was like, okay, I'm going to play some other stuff, which we'll get into later on the show. But like I was having fun, but it wasn't like compelling me. I wasn't like I got home and it was like, man, I got to get back to fucking Crackdown. Like, it's not that type of game for me. It's more like what I played mostly was, all right, let's see how many orbs I can get. All right, oh, here's this tower that I have to climb to the top of. Yes, let's do this. Like that's always been the appeal of Crackdown to me, is like, all right, here's this big ass city with all these orbs in it. Let's see what's at the top of that building if there's one up there. And I will say they've made it a lot easier to see them in this
Yes.
one.
Yes.
And they make noise from a further
Though
distance.
they did take away your ping button from Crackdown 2. Because Crackdown 2 you used to be able to hold up on the D-pad and it would ping out and show you on your little mini-map where
Oh, that's
where
right.
they were nearby. So you
Maybe
weren't
you'll
like
yell-
constantly searching things. Because like the hidden ones aren't that easy to find.
They're not
like
that
I mean,
hard either.
yeah, they're not that hard, but it's kind of like they have a big enough glow. But I mean, if you're like on the rooftops, you're never going to find them.
No, they're hidden.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, but I mean, like, and the same thing about like driving cars in this game. It's like, yeah, sure you can do it, but why would you?
Yeah, I got through the entire game and only did the car for whatever the one thing was. It was
Yeah.
like, here's your car. I was like, mm-hmm.
So other thing, I know I'm already picking about it being a B tier game, but god damn, the sound mixing in the game is fucking horrible. Like,
Yeah,
I
miss dialogue a lot.
I was messing with sliders. I had everything but dialogue down to like 40, or dialogue was like 100 out of out of the slider things, and I still couldn't hear or understand half of. I mean, I'm like, it's Terry Crews. I want to hear. I got fuck gravity multiple times, but it was like so many other things he was saying. I was like, what did he just say? Like, I don't want to turn on subtitles. I'm not that guy. I hate subtitles in video games because it's distracting to me, and I don't know. It's just like the sound mixing was just horrendous.
Huh.
I played with headphones and half Terry Crews' voice mix sounds like he's one of the people on the street, like
Yeah.
just
yeah,
NPC characters.
it's just distant enough.
yeah.
I will say I haven't had problems with hearing the dialogue or anything, but the people on the street are way too fucking loud. I'll say that. They're always hollering some shit at me,
True.
like, "Hey, agent, come take a selfie with me."
They're all very, hey, it's Master Chief
Yeah,
with you.
exactly.
Except in some parts of town where they're just like, get out of here, agent. Bleh.
I don't know. I may go back to it, but like I said, it was one of those things. Like I hit a point a couple hours in, and I was like, nah. Like I other things I
Well,
could play.
see, it's funny for me. I didn't play the first 2 Crackdowns at all. Like never, just
Really?
never got to them. Never played them. And so I had set this to download, and then I had a physical copy of Far Cry New Dawn, and they both came out on the same day. So I went home, and while Far Cry New Dawn was installing, I was like, well, I'll just play a minute or two of Crackdown 3. And then that became the thing. Like, I played Crackdown 3 nonstop, start to finish, whenever I was playing a video game for the next, week. I was having Crackdown 3 dreams. Like, it invaded my dream world.
Damn.
I became like... I was like a city planner or something, and I was trying to sell people on the idea of traveling with high-powered vents. I was like, if we just blast air pressure out of this vent, people can get up there and they don't need elevators or anything. It was all because of the bullshit in Crackdown 3. That was... This thing just invaded me like... Man, like I said in the last episode...
It is pegging month.
Like I said in the last episode, the B-tier games are gone. And now all of a sudden, oh my god, here's a B-tier game. This is... The things that grab me are like games like The Godfather and Saints Row 3 and stuff where it's like you have a map and you have icons on the map and you have to clear these things out and then you've 100%ed that district and then you can move on to the next thing. And that just grabs me. It's the right amount of grind. It's not an insane amount of grind. There was no like, hey, go get 75 orbs before you can do the next thing. No, it's just like, I'm here. I see 12 orbs. I'll go get them. Okay, now let me go do the next thing.
I thought of something that actually would have really helped, and it could have worked perfectly in the intro. I think one of the things about this, especially like I'm surprised you were as immediately on board with this, because like I played the other 2 Crackdowns. I knew where this was going as far as like becoming increasingly superpowered. They should have done it in abilities. You should have played for like 5 minutes, maxed out stats, so you could be like, this is what you're going to be working to. Because I felt like this one, when you jump in, maybe because it had been so long since Crackdown 2, I was just like, why can't I do anything? Like I can't even jump on top of a 1-story building right now.
Yeah.
Well, because you were literally melted away in the opening cutscene.
That's what I mean.
Rebuilt.
But before that,
you should have had a mission.
You should have had like one
Yeah.
quick mini mission that was like your tutorial, control thing,
Right.
And
Like
then
you're finishing up a previous
exactly
big bad.
Like here's what level 6 strength looks like when you can ground pound
Right.
a bajillion people or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
They only had 18 months. Like I said,
I know,
they
but-
just slapped this thing together.
Like I
Well,
said-
I mean, that's why I think we remember some games so fondly, is because we forget we were playing them at the maxed out possible level when we went back into it.
Like, what was it? Saints Row 4, when you can, like, fly and the
Yeah.
whole world gets pulled behind you, causing your Xbox to melt in
I mean,
half.
this is very much Saints Row 4 minus the story.
Yeah.
Because you're flying around collecting orbs and
Saints Row 4 was, like,
Was Crackdown.
it
2,
was.
yeah.
It absolutely was.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like speaking of Saints Row, I mean, I jumped in on Saints Row on part 3. Like I went back and played the first 2 after and was like, yeah, these are just GTA things. 3 is when it became Chuck's video game.
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't even bother playing 2, Saints Row
Yeah.
2. I just jumped in at 3 and was like,
2
"Oh,
has some very weird
I can do
tonal
that."
stuff.
Yes, it is. It wants to be jokey, but it also wants to be like, hey, you've murdered a lot of people. Brutally.
That's the one with the poop truck, right?
Yes.
Yes.
You spray houses with poop.
devalue the neighborhood by spraying
yeah.
poop,
Yeah.
Yep.
which is true. I mean, it's accurate.
It would do that,
Yeah.
yes.
But Chuck, you should play Crackdown 1.
I plan to.
It is the same game in a different city.
I totally plan to.
And I bet the backwards compatibility being a first party probably looks pretty good.
It's I have played it in the past year, and
There's-
it looks pretty great.
There's a specific Xbox One X 4K update for the original Crackdown.
Ooh, nice.
So it might trust me. Like when I finished Crackdown 3, I was like, I need to play this more. I need more of this. And like
See, this is why
you
we
should
don't
work-
let you have regular crack.
Yeah.
Because just crack down,
Yeah.
which is the
Then we'd have
the
crack
calm-
downly.
yeah, crack down is the down-resed version of crack.
Oh.
and you're addicted to it immediately. You've
Yeah.
spent 40 hours in it now.
Yeah.
How many hours have you put into it?
I
you
don't
think?
know. There's not a thing in the.
not a counter or
There's not an
something?
options thing. There's somewhere in the
There is
Xbox
yeah,
dash.
on
I
there.
can
if you go to
find
the
it.
like game details,
Yeah.
it'll tell you.
I could,
Yeah.
but I mean, I didn't like
But that's
obsess
also
over it.
pause menus and all that.
Yeah,
so.
but I mean, I just went through the game. It was maybe 10 hours, I think.
Okay.
You should probably go backwards. Like if Crackdown 2 is backwards compatible,
It's not
not.
yet.
It's not yet?
And I've been
No.
wondering why.
okay.
I think there was probably something weird with either one, they hate it, which it doesn't seem surprising because everyone seems to hate it, There's even
those
some.
people are
They,
wrong.
they
It's
take
just-
some shots at it in the menu screens. Like there are
Really?
some things where it's just like, yeah, the agency at the end of their last big mission did this one weird turn, but forget all that.
Well, the thing about too, like it got fixed with the DLC
Oh, okay.
because the DLC gave you rocket boots,
Oh,
and that it was like the best thing
Yeah,
because
there were
it
a
made
lot of
getting
buildings-
around that
yeah.
city
okay.
awesome.
There were a lot of buildings where like the little ledges you can grab were like you had to perfectly time it to get to this one, and the rocket boots were just like, psst, okay,
Yeah.
there you
and
go.
and two also had like the hidden audio logs that are in this one.
Mm-hmm.
They like went hog wild with it. They still had like 500 orbs, the 250 hidden orbs, and then they're like, all right, and there's 100 of this type of audio log, and then this company's audio log, there's 100 of those. So it was just like, like everyone's like, man, I love collecting stuff in Crackdown, and it was like, oh, you like collecting stuff. Well, here
It was like the
here,
Arkham City to Arkham
oh,
Asylum thing.
we caught you collecting. Here, now you have to smoke the whole pack. We'll see how you feel about collecting after.
Here's a
after
carton of
this
audio
game.
logs, you little shit.
You like 75 Riddler trophies? What do you feel about 525 of them?
Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
yeah. And that was very much the 2009, 2010, 2011 era of like, oh, collectathon. Well, we have to have more collecting things than anybody.
That
And,
was like
yeah.
when we went from like just a sprinkling of things on a map to it looks like somebody dumped 4 tons of confetti on a map.
Yeah.
It's map vomit.
And that's a thing that I really appreciate about Crackdown 3 is the density of shit to do is appropriate.
Yes.
And I don't know if that's just because they were cheap or that was on purpose. Whatever. I don't care why.
But-
it works out really well for me.
My point about playing Crackdown 2 before you play Crackdown 1 is because I know you, and if you play 1, you'll be like, I've got to play Crackdown 2, and I was just trying to sandwich the not-so-great one in between the other 2 good ones, if in your opinion.
that checks out.
Yeah.
I think the only the
I-
worst thing about 2 is probably just the ending, the dumb.
Like I said,
thing at the
I
end.
But like I said, I already know 3 said forget that.
I finished 2. I'm just saying, I agree it's a lot weaker than the first one because it was like, it was new, story somewhat cared. The second one was like, oh, there's zombies and shit now, and
Yeah.
I own them
look
both.
at all these logs.
I didn't fire my 360 into the sun, so
Yeah.
What a mistake.
yeah.
Well,
Now I can play
did you-
Crackdown too.
Did you play any co-op in 3?
No, no.
That game is a lot of fun in co-op.
Is it?
How many
like,
people
like
can you
all
do
of
in co-op?
Crackdowns have been. I think you can do up to 4. I don't know how. I don't know
Alright.
how they do
Please.
when it's.
I'll play
Crackdown.
Crackdown 3 again if anyone wants to co-op because I seem to remember that's how we got some longevity out of
Yeah,
the Crackdown
well,
the
like
first.
2 had is the harpoon gun in 3?
There might be some sort of laser equivalent.
Well, yeah,
but-
because 2, like you could harpoon people to like the sides
Okay,
of the
no,
truck
there's
and
nothing
then
that-
drive around with them
No,
like
there's
hanging
nothing-
off the truck.
there's nothing that violent.
But yeah, and also like it just pro tip: if you get in a car, have your friend pick up the car,
Mm-hmm.
they can just throw you through the stunt rings, and you'll get the stunt ring.
That sounds great.
Good point.
Yeah, I'm gonna do. Yeah, because I was never gonna do the stunt rings in Crackdown 3. So if someone wants to co-op with
Some
me,
of those look like they're impossible to get to. I'm
Yeah.
like, what rocket laser car am I going to get?
Guess how they're possible?
Rocket laser car?
If your friend picks up the car and throws it through the ring.
Well, speaking of co-op, no, I don't know if we're done talking about Crackdown 3. There's just
Yeah,
a good
we
segue
are.
there.
There's a battle royale mode in it, but
Oh.
none of us have played it.
Okay,
yeah,
However,
I was going to say
Tetris now has a battle royale mode
yeah, this came
on
out of
Switch.
nowhere.
Tetris 99.
Yeah,
It's free. It's Tetris.
It's free 99.
who made this?
Tetris.
Tetris.
No, but what?
The Tetris company.
but who,
Mr. Tetris,
who published it?
Frank Tetris.
No,
long skinny block.
I don't recall, and I don't have my Switch here with me, so
Okay.
or I would boot it up and find out.
all right.
But
I'm not. I'm confused as to who currently.
You know, we have
owns-
the internet.
I mean, who made original Tetris? That means nothing to me.
Oh.
The Russians.
The
Well-
developer is Arika, and the publisher is Nintendo.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just weird because like Ubisoft or Ubisoft also kind of owns the Tetris license currently also, but I've been seeing their games get like delisted, like maybe they lost it. So I don't know. I've been because my
I'm curious who
Tetris app
did-
on my phone is EA. So
who did the VR Tetris one that everyone went nuts about a few months ago?
I think Sony published that because it's
Okay.
not on Xbox.
What was that called?
Tetris
Evolution? Revolution?
Tetris VR, Tetris World.
Yeah, I
Tetris-
forget what it was. It was like, but everyone's like, man, Tetris.
People love it. Like this
Yeah.
week, I was seeing the Washington Post with articles saying like this is the most zen Tetris
Yeah.
you've ever seen. So.
Tetris 99 is
Yeah.
not Zen.
No,
No.
is it?
This is like Dr. Mario Tetris or something. Like,
No, I mean it is Tetris.
Okay.
However, you have options at the top for when you clear lines, what you want to do with them. That you can send them to either the people who are closest to being knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
You can send it to people who are actively attacking you, or you can send it random. And I believe there's one other, which is I can't remember now, honestly. But there's like
So wait, this is literally 99 people playing Tetris at once.
Yes.
Until there's one.
yeah, it has to load up into a
Okay.
like, and you will always find 99 people. Like the most it took me was maybe 30 seconds to get into a game.
Oh yeah, being free on the Switch is
Yeah,
guaranteed.
and
you
everyone
will have-
starts same
yeah,
time. Yeah, and I guess you have to have the Nintendo subscription,
that
which
thing's
is
so
like
cheap.
$20 for a year.
Yeah.
So
Plus you get the classic game. So do it.
yeah,
Yeah, do it.
It is definitely worth it. Like
you
20
you might be able to voice chat too
over my phone or something.
with a microphone plugged into
uh,
your Wii controller.
no thanks.
I don't know.
Nah, but no, I mean it's Tetris, but and it's the Game Boy Tetris music, but
Okay.
you know synthed up a little bit, a little
Yeah.
jazzed up.
Okay,
But it's definitely that tune.
is,
but,
is it that dubstep version we were listening to in the car that one day?
I don't recall. I don't think it's that one.
That one's
But
pretty good.
but yeah, and it gets fucking intense as it goes on, which, you know, Battle Royale, that's how they happen. And
Right.
then there's some where I've just got annihilated immediately. Like I was like ranked like 70th. And I'm like, wait, I'm decent at Tetris. What happened?
I'm good.
What you know, so it's odd in that you kind of can end up doing strategies in the game in that like sometimes, you know, I was always, all right, build up all my all the blocks on the side, leave a row on the right-hand side or on the left-hand side to drop a long straight piece, get a Tetris, and just go that way.
Yep.
Which isn't always a good strategy in this game
Oh,
because you are getting lines added by other players. And I mean, it's basically the versus mode that was in the Game Boy game way back when, where like, you know, someone clears a certain amount of lines, it's going to send them at you. And you have a little warning meter on the left that shows, you know, okay, you're about to get these,
Oh.
but if you can clear out those lines, you won't have them show up at the bottom of your screen.
okay.
So you're always competing, but then all of a sudden, like you get near the end, like, and I finished, I think the highest I finished was 11th. Like I finished 12th and then 11th, and I almost got in the top 10. And I swear, when I got to that point, and it also, once it hits over 50, the speed picks up.
Of course.
And then under 25, the speed picks up. And I'm assuming at the top 10, the speed picks up again.
Mm-hmm.
But like I hit, like I saw it, like it was like, oh, you know, 12 remaining or something. And then I knew I was one of them, obviously. And all of a sudden, it just fucking annihilated my screen. Like I got like almost an entire screen of blocks just appeared immediately.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. I guess like, you know, people's grandmothers who had the Game Boy version and that was all they played.
Uh-huh.
This is what they've been waiting for. I don't know.
My
But
mother
it's-
would have wrecked at this game.
Yeah, I mean, Tetris is, it's a simple, classic, well-designed game, and this is a good version of it that plays well. And you know, it's on the Switch, so whenever Jen is watching like some bullshit TLC show about, you know, like people who weigh 600 pounds or some other bullshit,
Uh-huh.
I'm like, all right, I'm gonna play me some Tetris.
Shows about people chasing waterfalls.
No,
That's-
it's a network.
Oh,
It's actually the Learning Channel.
wow.
Would you believe the
It's a
things people learn on the Learning Channel?
I would
like,
not. I don't want.
Like how much wedding dresses cost.
Oh,
And-
well, that's
$1 billion.
learning.
yeah,
All
apparently.
of them. Every single any wedding dress that doesn't make you look like a gross slag is $1 billion.
Yep.
I got
But
it, yeah.
I would say if you have a Nintendo subscription, a Switch, and the time on your hands, you should play Tetris 99.
I'm watching a video of it right now, and it is in fucking sane. Whoever's playing this is really good, but also
Yeah.
there's a lot.
A
Going
lot
on
of
on
people
that
that are
screen,
playing it are
man.
good. And it will really depend on who you get matched up against. But because it's 99, it's so random that you just never know.
This is the game that you don't want to play when everybody is at school because
Oh, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
because all the retired, like all of the moms our age that are retired,
Yep.
are sitting at home all day They're like, "Oh, I'll try the Tetris on my grandson's Switch," and
And they
wrecking
proceed
shop.
to fucking wreck you.
Yeah.
Tetris Effect was the
That's
Effect.
it.
VR
Yeah.
There we go.
one, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
It makes me want to get, but Tetris Effect, it was only on PS4, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
that's
Man,
Has that already come out?
yeah, oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
I need to put that on PS prices
But it's not.
so
Oh,
it
yeah.
alerts me when the price drops on it because I
There-
do need to get that at some
There
point.
was a sale on it like right up through the end of December, and I was just like, I don't know, but then yeah,
yeah.
It looked really cool.
it is.
Yeah, I mean, Tetris is one of those games like you take for granted. You know, like, man, I forgot how good this game is.
But there are also bad versions of it. Like there are bad
How?
versions. There are bad versions.
It's just
of
like
Tetris.
stupid variants or
Dr.
something.
Mario.
No, I'm talking about
I
actual
said it.
Tetris.
No.
Like there are
Yeah.
some bad versions.
I think
of
I had like
Tetris.
Tetris Worlds
Yeah,
on like
th-
GameCube or something.
That thing fucking.
I got it for
sucks.
free.
Yeah,
I paid too much.
yeah. I played the GBA version of that just like within the last week, and was just like, oh god,
Yeah.
Tetris sucks.
I still have my original Game Boy. Still have
that
Tetris.
version's great.
It's a really good version.
Yeah,
Puzzle Fighter was a good Tetris variant. Puzzle
Yes.
Fighter could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and there's Puyo Puyo Tetris. I might need to give that a shot too.
That's really good.
yeah.
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 Yep. But yeah, Tetris, man. Play some Tetris.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
Play 99 Tetrises.
It's free if you own the thing
good. Yeah.
and the subscription.
For $20 a year, like just all the Nintendo, the NES games that they give you.
Yeah.
And they also give you versions of the NES games that are just like, yeah, here's Zelda, you have all the good stuff.
Yeah, they have like
To
these
start.
weird save state things of just
Yeah.
like you want to just beat the last boss here, go.
Yeah. It's great.
That's kind of neat.
R-Type I think R-Type was one of the recent ones. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, R-Type. Yeah, I'll play it that way.
Never saw the end
Hell
of this
yeah.
game.
Yeah, I think they had a remix of Metroid where he's like, "Hey, you have all the powers and like 99 lives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
go
and
nuts."
you're outside Mother Brain's lair.
Right.
Yeah,
Go
just go
for
in there
it.
and shoot the missiles.
Yeah.
Yep, good stuff.
So, speaking of nothing, I don't know. We're just moving on to another game. I don't have a segue.
Okay,
Far Cry New Dawn.
you have some words for this game.
Might have one or two.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So set after the end of Far Cry 5.
It's
by
the-
what, 20 years?
20, I believe.
It's about
yeah,
20,
about
20,
25,
25
give or
years.
take.
Yeah,
Like he's supposed to be the direct continuation of what the fuck happened at the end of Far Cry 5, as the entire world said in harmony.
uh huh.
Well, okay. I feel like my
Is it the same map?
yes and no. I mean,
It's
is
part of the same map,
It's
right?
yeah. It's not as large as the actual Far Cry 5 map. It's just one section of it, but it is so vastly different that just occasionally you will go like, oh, I know where I am.
Yeah,
Like you know, just be like, oh, I recognize that barn and this layout of buildings. That I like I ended up on the baseball field at one point in time in New Dawn. I was like, oh hey, yeah, this is the baseball field. Where it's
Where the Testicle Festival
Yeah.
was.
yeah, things like that. First off, I'll say, and I don't think you're gonna have to worry about this much longer. This is not a full price Far Cry game, and that's not me like saying it's a should have been on the disc kind of thing. Like this is
It's
It's a $40
$40,
yeah.
right?
It's a $40 game.
that's still I don't know
Too
that's
much?
that's borderline. I'm just saying that's
Yeah.
I got my money's worth and then some, but I mean I'm also insane.
Question for you.
Okay,
How much was Blood Dragon? Was that 20?
20.
20, yeah.
even?
15 or
Should
20.
this have been Blood Dragon priced?
I just feel like if this had been 30, it's an easier thing to recommend. And I'm saying like as
I
a list
gotcha.
price because I mean like this is like maybe a third as long as Far Cry 5, maybe like I think that's stretching it.
So you're through it pretty quickly.
I mean I was done very quickly, like in a couple playthroughs.
8 hours?
Not maybe that quite that quickly because I was doing some side stuff, but I kind of just went to. This is one of those weird games where I just looked and I was like, all right, this is how many challenges I have left. All right, this is how many this I have left, and how many achievements do I have left? And I was like, fuck it, I'm 100%ing this thing. And it's just one of those games where it clicked, and I was like, I'm doing this. And then it became a little bit of an obsession, and Chuck helped me out with the last couple because I will warn you if you're crazy like me and you want to 100% this game, there are going to be some achievements and challenges that if you wait till the end of the game are going to be nigh on impossible because it's sort of got the Skyrim scaling enemies thing happening. Suddenly when you're powered up, so are they. Like
Yeah.
you pretty much find all armored enemies and dudes with shields and things like that. And especially replaying bases and the expeditions they call them.
Yeah.
You can't go back. I feel like if they gave you a slider and you said, hey, I want to go back and retake this base on like 1-star difficulty instead of 3-star difficulty, that would fix it. I mean, I know it's kind of dumb, but it would help you hunt some of these achievements and challenges if they just gave you that option. But basically I had to have, because Chuck did nothing but play Crackdown, he basically barely started Far Cry, and I was like, hey, I would like to jump in your game and wreck some dudes that are like base level. Because I need to do some really dumb achievements right now.
So I let him into my world, and I just stood there while he jumped around like an idiot, murdering things.
Yeah, pretty much.
With all his superpowers,
Yeah.
of which I had none.
Yeah, you kind of get some quasi superpowers towards the end.
Yeah.
All right. Only because it's a joke that I want to get to, I'm going to say this. All right, because you know that like Joseph Seed is still going to be an element in this game, right? Right.
He's in the trailer.
Yeah, he's in the trailer. You know, like you need some resolution for all of that bullshit.
Obviously, this game exists to let you kill Joseph Seed.
That's me literally. I'm straight facing that. However, I will say along the way, there is a point where they're like, all right, you need to go sort of kind of work for them or work with them and figure out why they're good at this stuff.
They mention him very early on,
Yeah.
like when you first open up the main hub that you're in after like the first hour of the game. It's just basically like up there is where all the seeds are.
Right. Yeah. And then they're like, yeah, at first they're like, don't go up there. Just like we're still not. Even though they kind of keep to their own now, we're still not over what they did some years ago.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
Understandable.
Yeah. But at some point, they're kind of like, all right, we're between a rock and a hard place. You need to go ask them for some help, and blah blah blah. You drink a magic potion. That's not exactly what happens, but let's just say you get some powers from them, from the cultist people.
Oh, do you do some bliss? Some irradiated bliss?
No, I mean, I don't want to. I'm trying to be vague.
Okay.
I'm attempting to be vague.
Fine.
I'm just saying, at
Bliss.
some point, you will go and you will do something, and you will drink a magic potion, and suddenly you have a couple new powers at your disposal.
Okay.
One of which is you now get a double jump. That kind of makes no sense, but like it's super useful, including you can literally jump out of it. You can still do airdrops to a location and fall, but except now if you time it just right, you can hit the double jump and just off the ground and land without a parachute.
I gotcha. So basically, like anytime I jump off anything in Crackdown.
Sure.
It's like jumping up in an
elevator
when
at the
it's
last
crashing.
second. Yeah, exactly. There's actually an achievement for falling so far and only saving yourself using that. And somebody was like, if you're going to do it, just jump out of a fucking airplane. Like, why try to calculate, is that hill 100 meters up or whatever? No, just fucking jump out of an airplane and time it.
Yeah.
And if you die, try it again. But anyway, you get that. You get like a kind of almost turn invisible stealth mode thing.
Okay.
And then you get this rage mode where this is what I think Chuck was most laughing about, because one of the things I had was in one single instance of this rage mode thing, murder 10 enemies, which is a lot harder than it sounds, because in this game it's very hard to gather that many people without them murdering you or you having to murder one of them. So I basically had to like have him in a base be the bullet bait and kite them around so that I could then
I'm running in a circle around this base like, hey, come over here, follow me.
and then I just like activate this rage mode and I start punching dudes until they, as he said, they fly into the stratosphere. And because of how I got the power, the entire time, even before this, like the entire time I was playing this, I was like, every time I would do that, I went, the power of Christ propels you.
You son of a bitch.
I looked over the first time he did it, and this person just flies into space. I'm like, did you just punch someone into space?
Yeah. So just like, every time I did it and they went just flying off the map, I was, power of Christ
like
propels you.
from my perspective, the world doesn't do anything. Like,
No.
there's no like color change, or the character doesn't go rah.
Just sees me go punch.
You just melee someone and they go into space, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening in Far Cry World?
Yeah. So
No, I know.
I would just warn you that the last two achievements I had to unlock that I very much needed, besides the in-game challenges, because I didn't do the basic weapons when I should have when I was on basic level.
Yeah.
I had to jump in his game for that, and probably more importantly, there is one. This one sounds like it would be fun, except that the physics of the game are so bad. There's one called Good Job Cap, which means pick up an enemy's shield, throw it at somebody, and murder them, and do it 5 times, which isn't that hard to do, especially if you have the rage strength thing. However, those shields break in like 2 hits. So like I would murder one guy, the shield would break, or they'd shoot at me and break the shield, and I have to wait for another shield guy. So
That was fun.
We had to like go into the base like 3 or 4 times for me
Yeah.
to finally get enough people.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But the thing that worked out doing it this way was that me, as a low-level character, gathered up so much resources over the course of him doing all these things that still in his world, I was able to go to the weapons bench and craft all the end-game super-duper weapons, take them back into my game, and now I have all the super-duper weapons I shouldn't have for another 10 hours. But, you know,
that was the other pro
Blood
tip.
Dragon bow. And
that's the thing I was gonna pro tip you is like, in the progression of the game, you level up your home base so that you can make higher level weapons at the weapon benches. But if you jump in someone else's game and they have all the level ups, you may partake of it.
Nice.
So just pro tip. If you,
it worked out well. So now I have
however, if you're going to go 100%, which I doubt you are, but
No.
I'm saying get your low level weapon achievements out of the way first.
some of the things you did, I'm like, I don't care about this.
Okay.
So,
I cleared all the achievements and all the challenges.
yep, he has 1,000 points in that game.
Do you like it or not? It's hard to tell.
well,
kind of
okay.
hard for me to tell based on.
So
your
here's the thing,
review.
like Far Cry 5, I know I had lots of angry words because that story is such bullshit, but I fucking love playing Far Cry 5. Like the gameplay of Far Cry 5 is awesome, and I could do from Far Cry 3 on, I could play those games ad nauseum because I love the stealth feature. I love clearing out bases. I love like all those little activities that everyone's like, oh god, you want me to redo a base? And I'm like, yeah, clear those bases, reset them. And now they've got a function where it's just like you can scavenge the base and you're not just doing it for funsies. You know, you're actually like getting more resources by making it more difficult. And I was like,
oh,
fuck.
fucking crafting
like-
and everything.
I'm like, well, crafting, I mean,
I'm just
really.
being
It's
contrary for comedy's sake.
it's not like your weapons break or anything like that. It's just like now I have enough things to make this weapon I wanted to make. And
Yeah, did they lock all the weapons behind currency again, or did they make you do the kill 5
It's-
mutant boars
there's no-
to get a quiver?
there's no currency, and no, there's not like crafting based off of skinning. Except there are, I take that back. There are a couple weapons that they have a pretty good balance system, believe it or not. Because like there will be, let's say there's 2 sniper rifles. They're both like tier 3. They both do the same amount of damage. They just look different. Well, one will like, I will take less of the resources that require you to do expeditions and base taking, and instead require like a legendary boar skin and knock the other requirements down. So like if you're like, I like hunting and I like skinning, then you can forego doing as many runs of the other stuff.
Yeah.
So there's like a give and take. Like
Yeah.
you don't need
Okay.
you don't need animal parts to craft any weapon that you can't get the equivalent of doing something else.
Also, pro tip for Mackey's household, there are wild dogs all over the place
Yeah.
that you have to murder.
There's lots of dogs.
Damn it.
Yep.
Okay.
But I will say there, obviously it's 20-something years later. I hate to inform you that the dog from Far Cry 5 is no longer alive.
What? No.
But there's a new dog.
you
there's-
shut your fucking mouth.
There's a dog in the base, and it's just wandering around, and you can pet him.
No, I mean there is a gun for hire dog.
No, I know. I'm
okay.
just saying there is a pettable dog in
Oh,
your
yes.
base
All-
that has
all-
no purpose except to be
Good.
pet.
all non like attacking creatures are petable.
Yes.
So 10 out of 10. But no, there's an achievement, and I'm saying this not for achievement hunting purposes, but you should do it because you should do it. Timber is the new gun for hire or fang for hire, I believe as they are. And there is an achievement for because if you ride in a car that has a passenger seat, he jumps in and rides alongside you and sticks his head out the side and does dog
Hell
things.
yes.
And there's an achievement for driving around for 5 minutes with him as your co-pilot, and you should do it just because you should do it.
Yes.
It's really great, the animation that they put in for him.
Correct.
I like it.
But no, I mean, to answer, do I like the game? I like playing the game. The story is still bullshit.
They fucked it up again.
Okay.
Great.
They had all that time.
It's not as much bullshit. It's still just bullshit, though. It's like, well, yeah. Mass Effect 3 ending? Yeah. With the DLC, it's kind of like that. It's like, it's not as much bullshit. It's still kind of bullshit, but it's still bullshit. It's just lesser. It's lesser bullshit.
Like you were
I
saying,
wish they
though,
would just give me a call when they want to, like,
Yeah.
how do we end this with the main character? Be like, well, it should take place on an airplane, and then like you jump out of the airplane with the guy, holding onto the guy, punching him, and then when you get like 100 feet off the ground, you pull the rope and he falls to his death. You know,
Yeah.
something like that. Put that in.
I think we've gotten out of the Shades of Grey era. Like
Yeah.
we should move on to like, no, there are good guys and bad guys. Let us play as
Let
the
us
good
kill
guys,
the bad guys.
and let us murder the bad guys. I think that's where we need to be.
Do you get to murder the bad guy in Crackdown 3?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh, good.
Oh
The
my
bad-
gosh, yes.
The bad lady.
Yes. It is a terrible lady
Yes.
all
get
your
to-
dreams will be fulfilled.
See, Crackdown 3, Goaty.
So
Calling it now.
yeah. So real quick before New Dawn came out, I was like, I need to finish the Far Cry 5 DLC because I paid for it, and I'm tired of paying for DLC and then never playing it.
I mean,
Yes, I realize
Okay.
I kind of, but so I finished the Vietnam DLC and I was just like, this is kind of crap. I mean, I get it for what it is, but it's just like this. I hate every time I see just the non-moving cutscene, things.
Yeah.
It's just man, it just irritates me for some reason. But then you play that Lost on Mars one. Holy shit, that is the dumbest, just goofy fun, dumb bullshit of Herc saying the stupidest shit to you, and he is just body parts, and he's just like, "Hey man, I got to report my foot's over there. Could you go get it?" And it's just
and
like
you're just
now you're
killing
going to get.
Starship Troopers bugs.
Yeah, they literally just say, "Hey man, did you see Starship Troopers?" It's like that. It's like Tremors. They're under the ground. They jump out at you, and they pop out, and you're like, "Yeah, that's exactly what these things are." I mean, that thing is so on the surface hot bullshit, but it's fun. It's just the way Herc is just explaining everything to you. Of just, it's like, "Hey, you got to go get that space jizz, and you rub it all over your weapon, and then you get a new weapon." It's like, all right, whatever, Herc, you dumb son of a bitch. So, yeah, that one's been fun so far. I haven't finished that one yet.
I feel, not to double back too much on New Dawn, I feel like Herc's back. I mean, Herc's always in a Far
Herc's
Cry
been
now.
with us since
Yeah.
Primal.
Yeah. But this is the Herc. I mean, like the older version of Herc from Far Cry 5.
Sure.
I feel like they took the Herc needle and pointed it back a little bit to his pre Far Cry 5-ness.
So not woke Herc.
Yeah, he's slightly less woke Herc than he was, and I feel like that's because somebody complained that they wanted him to be Herc that he always was, and it's a little off-putting because
Hey man, Herc's seen some shit.
well, I'm just saying
in
it's,
the interim.
it's still funny, but I liked woke Herc better, and I felt like it works so well in the Far Cry 5 setting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now if you call him from the random Guns for Hire thing, he has 3 different barks he'll say when he is coming your way, but he'll go like, "All right, Daddy's coming," and they go like, "Oh wait, man, that didn't sound right. I'll be right there." Still just stuff. He's back to things like that, But
he's still kind of woke.
But however, I just one last thing I want to say about New Dawn: unlock Nana as fast as you can.
That's what
Nana is the best gun for hire, conversationally anyway.
Oh, okay. I was like, I know there's a dog. You cannot say that about a person.
Well, she's. I mean, for the way I play, she's also the best gun for hire, skill wise, because she's a silent silent sniper scoper. Yeah, they use scopes.
But is Nana a good boy?
She's a nice old lady.
But she's not a good boy.
No,
Okay.
but she
she's
says things like, "What did I say?" Oh yeah, because she's a
when that
sniper.
song's
Yeah,
going on.
she shot one of the what are they? The highwaymen or the
Highwaymen.
bad guys in this? She goes,
Yeah.
"I shot that felon in the melon." Yeah, but yeah, just the
All right.
fact that the entire future
All
is
right, I'm playing this when I get home.
pretty much the entire future is Run the Jewels and Die Antwoord.
Yeah.
Because they're the only ones that have more than one song in the soundtrack. And man, when all the highwaymen are always playing them and blasting them out of their stereos. So I came up on a bass once, and it's the Run the Jewels song with Zach Taylor Roca. They're just like, "Run them jewels fast," and that thing kicks in the beginning. She's like, "Ooh, I love this song." It's just I don't know. Don't get me wrong, Timber's great, and there's a boar too. That's their animal one, but yeah, Nana's hilarious.
It's pretty good when they tell you about the boars. It's like someone in your base is just like, "I got word there's this boar out there. Maybe you can recruit it to be your friend." I'm like, the fuck? I mean, that is what you do, but it's just so weird to hear people
Welcome to
have
the
this
future.
have this conversation of, "Hey man, go befriend that wild boar. It'll murder for you."
But yeah, Nana's hilarious.
All right, yeah. I'm going to need to play that.
Okay.
I wonder if I bought the DLC edition of Far Cry 5.
So what was the last
I don't
DLC
remember.
after Mars?
A zombie.
The zombie
Oh.
one.
None of us have played it.
Yeah, I
haven't
still
gotten there
haven't
yet.
done it yet.
Yeah, I didn't because I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Lost on Mars is going to be the high point of this, so why sully it?
Yeah. From my understanding, the zombie one's pretty bad. I'll still try it because I own it. So
Yeah, we paid for it. Might as well.
yeah, and it's got Cheeves.
Oh, of course.
It's got cheese.
Yeah,
Gotta get
well,
them
gotta get
points.
those-
I had 100% in Far Cry 5 until the DLC, and then I think it was Lost on Mars, which is so linear that and I must have missed an audio log, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not playing this."
Yeah,
game.
there's one thing, and you gotta get something early on that you
yeah,
can miss.
and I was just like, "I'm not playing that." I like that DLC better than Vietnam. I'm not playing it again.
Yeah,
Like I was just like, that's what threw me off having 100%.
sorry.
Oh, well.
Very, very sorry.
At least we're in the era where nobody cares.
I do at least like what PlayStation does with their trophies when there's DLC, in that it separates that out.
Yeah.
So
I also feel like the fact that I feel like Xbox should have had like adopted something like the Platinum.
Yes.
I feel like
I
the Platinum.
100%
I feel like
agree.
the Platinum is like a extra bonus level of like, ooh,
Yeah.
check you out, you 100% of the game.
Yeah, I mean that's the best part of trophies in general, and the splitting the DLC out thing. Because like on Xbox, it's because everything else about trophies, like their leveling system and all that shit, like makes no sense
I don't-
whatsoever.
yeah, I
it's
so
just
don't care.
random gibberish. Whereas at least like Xbox, it's like, all right, here are the points for doing this thing. But yeah, they should have had some kind of
Well, they got rare achievements. I feel like they should have. They should have.
yeah, they
also
should have had some
built
kind
in
of
a
bonus for
completion thing,
all right,
yeah.
you did all of it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like some kind of marker on that game or something. When someone looks at it, goes, "Oh man, you got everything."
I like that the rare achievements are dynamic because, like, I was playing Far Cry New Dawn at like midnight, basically the night it launched, and it was like every achievement I was unlocking was
Oh,
rare.
yeah. Yeah.
Like that was hilarious to me.
It's sad to say, but Hitman, like almost everyone I unlock, is rare because so few people have played it.
Yeah.
Oh well. So, are you guys ready to hear me talk for a while? You're not.
It is your corner, so.
But
it's Mackey's corner.
all right, so I'm lumping all this stuff together because it just kind of ended up that way. But between Switch and other things, I've been playing a lot of Metroidvanias and a lot of roguelikes.
There
So I
are a
figured,
lot of them out there.
let's give that its own little corner.
Aw.
Yeah. So, going to return to one, which was among my FODs for, I believe, 2014, was Binding of Isaac. They put Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus on sale on the Switch, which is like the version with, I think there's 2 or 3 different DLCs all combined in it. So there's like thousands of items now, thousands of randomizations. And yeah, playing that game on the Switch is basically exactly what I needed for that game. I admit it was probably a mistake buying it because that game can just suck hours of my life away, and I need to be more careful about that. But yeah, that's a good version.
How do you play it now that you've put, a million hours into it? Do you do like daily challenges or specific seeds?
Well,
or...
I had to start all over.
I was gonna
for
say, is it
one.
kind of like how when I restarted Dead Cells on the Switch, like you were
Yes.
like, I know what weapons I want and fuck all the other things.
Kind of. I mean, the thing about Isaac is it's so randomized, and you're always going to get that gold room in the beginning that has some kind of good bonus, and that usually determines what type of run I'm going to go for. Is if it's a shit thing, I'm like, all right, then I'm just going to fuck around, and if I see a pill, I'm just going to pick it up and activate it and see what happens, and just like try to unlock random things. Whereas if I get a weapon that I know is a good one, or I get something that's like, all right, you boosted your speed and your attack power. I'm like, yeah, then I'm gonna be careful and try and do like maybe my run where I don't get hurt up through fighting Mom's heart the first time.
Well, I just mean like you've been through it so many times at this point.
Not really. I've
No?
never actually beaten all the entire game.
Okay.
I've never made it all the way
I
through.
gotcha.
I've just played a ton of it.
Okay. I was curious because I was like some people like with Spelunky, they'll do the daily run and that's all they do. Like they log on, they do the daily run and they're done.
If
I know you can pick specific seeds.
yeah, if
with
I was
Isaac.
playing the Vita version that I unlocked the most stuff on, if I was still playing that, I would probably just do daily challenges and stuff.
Okay.
Because so many things are unlocked, but now like because I had to start over, I'm just like I just play it.
Okay.
I just
play it as
just hit
as
start
it's presented.
and
I gotcha.
go through whatever it is, and then whatever item I pick up determines what type of run I'm going to go for. But otherwise, that game is still great. That game is still really fucked up, like in its theme and
Yeah.
stuff. It's just weird, and I mean I understand the off-puttingness of it because that's what they're going for. But it's
Yeah.
still kind of like that's why I like playing it on the Switch, because I wouldn't want to play it on the TV and Jen walk and be like, "The fuck are you playing?"
Why is this foot trying to stop you?
Yeah. Like, is that a pile of poop? Just
Oh, yeah.
all that sort of shit. So.
Yeah, I didn't want to get up.
Yeah. Did his dick fall off in that cutscene? It's like, yes, that was the nightmare he was having. Yeah. You know, I don't want to deal with all that.
Yeah, it seems like with each release or redo or whatever with Binding of Isaac, they try to get a little bit weirder.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this game's already fucked up enough. There's already a lot going
Yeah.
on. You can
Yeah, and I've
stay where you're
I've
at.
also shifted because Afterbirth Plus has so many more things in it, so many, you know, pills that activate this effect, or, you know, picking up this item does this, that I've just resorted to just, you know, pausing it, pulling up on my phone like a wiki, and just being like, all right, the fuck does this do?
Yeah.
You know, what does puberty do aside from make me look really ugly? You know, like all those sorts
it
of
means you can
things.
fuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what I've heard.
yeah.
Haven't experienced it yet, but you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just so many things that happen in that game where I'm just like, okay, yeah, I don't understand what happened, because it'll just say like, all right, effect, or you know, like weird named thing, and you're just like, okay,
Toenail clippers. What
Yeah.
the fuck does toenail clippers
Yeah.
do?
yeah. So I'm at the point where I've just given up on even like trying to remember what all the things are if I don't recognize them. So I'll just I look it up now. But anyway, this made me move on to a game that I had purchased a while back when I found it on sale, Enter the Gungeon, which is a similar top-down type shooter. This one should feel like a twin-stick one, but it has a thing I'm not fond of in twin-stick shooters, which is aiming. As far as, like, you don't just point the stick in a direction and you're shooting. You have to actually aim in a direction and then start pulling the trigger.
Oh.
And because you have limited ammo, I'm not having fun with it.
Really? That's just weird. I like to Enter the Gungeon a lot. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's super hard.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's my thing, is just not having that. Like, maybe I just wasn't in the right frame to go for it with that, but like I was having trouble clicking with the control scheme and, you know, keeping track of my limited ammo and being able to aim properly and shoot. Because usually my first couple shots were going to miss, and that's like, you know, any twin stick thing. It's like kind of like, yeah, that's how this works. But I wasn't crazy about it, but I need to play more of that. And then I moved on to Metroidvanias because I was like, yeah, I don't know if I need the top-down shooter type thing. And we got Bloodstained Curse of the Moon free with Xbox Games with Gold, which is straight up a Castlevania game without the name.
Yep.
Straight up NES version of Castlevania without the name.
Same guy.
Yeah.
Guy wanted to make another Castlevania
Yeah,
game.
and apparently this is like the smaller version. There's like an actual full Bloodstained game.
Oh, really?
I don't think it's out yet, but
So this is like Ground Zeroes for
kind
Metal
of,
Gear or something?
yeah, because I think there are only like 8 levels in it, and I got through 6 of them. I want to say, and then and I got through them really, actually, like shockingly easily, because it's the trick with this one is that you have 4 characters that you can unlock, and that you basically recruit as you go along. You know, you start out as one, and it's funny because like whenever you meet one of the people, you basically have the option to kill them or have them join you. And when you let them join you, you're just like, I hope you understand, I fucking hate you, but I guess I'll let you come along.
Okay.
It's kind of like your guy is just a complete asshole to everyone he meets, and I don't know. I just found that charming. Yeah, but no, this is a NES ass game. But the thing is, you can switch between those characters, and each one has specific powers. And when you get to a boss, whenever one of those characters dies, you can't bring them back until you've died completely on all 4 accounts, and then you basically restart from a checkpoint. At least on the easy mode that I'm playing on. If you play on the harder mode, you're just done, and you have to restart the entire level over. But it's basically they become your lives. But the problem is like some characters suck, and so like if you're in a boss fight, you can't use the wizard guy because he's like, no, the wizard guy sucks. Don't bother using him.
So he's a schwizzard?
Yeah, he is a shitty wizard. But then again, there are other levels where he's worth it. And then there's a guy who can turn into a bat, and then he can like access areas and shortcuts that you couldn't access. But if you're dumb and you get him killed early, then the level becomes really fucking hard and a pain in the ass. But I liked it. I was getting pretty far in it, and then I stopped. And I learned, you know, like, and it reminded me of old NES games where it's like you had to keep playing that game because you got so in tune with how that game played that you were like, all right, man, I'm just breezing through this shit. And like that's how it was the first day, and then jumping back in on the 7th level, I was like, God, wait, I suck at this game now. I don't think I can beat it. You know, it's like Call of Duty. Like when I beat a Call of Duty on Veteran, I'm like, I need to play a different Call of Duty because my skills are like are at their peak right now.
They're finally honed right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. I need to stick with this because if I decide to play something different, I'm going to get fucked up. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where I ended up with that. Completely unrelated, but it's still kind of a Metroidvania type game. Is Slain Back from Hell was on sale on the Switch. I believe Kyle recommended it in his Fodies at some point.
Okay.
Where you are some kind of Viking guy who's been brought back from the dead, and he's not happy about it, so he's going to murder everything as he scrolls from left to right.
Okay.
That's a good
on the
plan.
screen.
Yeah.
I kind of didn't like it, probably because it just didn't control well. You know, you get used to games that are just like very finely tuned, and when you're playing one that isn't, you're like, oh, this isn't the jump doesn't work quite right. It doesn't feel good. You know, and the attacks are just like the timing's not quite there. So it's one of those games where I have to put some distance away from the next game I'm going to talk about before I can go back to it. Mm-hmm. Because I liked the style of it. It was, you know, the whole Viking Back from the Dead thing was pretty cool. But Dead Cells. They patched Dead Cells. I beat Dead Cells.
Because they patched it?
I think so.
Okay.
Because it seems to drop loot more frequently and more often. And they changed how the mutators work between levels. Because I think they found that people were going for, like, every run was like, okay, you pick the YOLO thing, and then you pick, you know, like...
What's that? Is that where you can come back from the dead?
Yes.
Oh, I never picked that.
Well, I mean, but a lot of people... Most like me, it was always pick YOLO and then pick the one that reduces the recharge time on your traps and your skills.
Yep.
And then there was, before you fight the concierge, you take the plus 30% health. Which they changed them now where, like, instead of, say, just getting a bulk plus 30% health, it's plus 50%, but now none of the healing items work anymore. So it's like kind of this trade-off where it's like you have more health, but you can't eat food during the level, or you know...
Even your own healing flask?
No, your healing
okay,
flask will work, but like any items that drop that
Yeah.
would heal you during the level, you can't use them anymore.
Gotcha.
And
I really probably should have played this only because
yeah,
I have the entire history of Dead Cells pre-release to
yeah,
now.
yeah, and they changed it like they basically made it so boss fights, the traps aren't as useful as they used to be, because it used to be, okay, you flat reduced your charge time on your traps. So if it used to take 10 seconds, now it takes 8, and you can just keep tossing them out, and if they get killed, then you know, you can keep putting them out. Now it's every kill reduces the time. So if you're in a boss fight, you're not killing anything. So now your recharge time is way higher, but they're more useful during the level itself because, okay, I toss out a trap, it killed something. Okay, now I can toss a trap right back out. So it becomes this, you know, they've rebalanced the game in ways that made it more interesting, but I really think that they've dropped way more powerful items more quickly in the game because I was not getting the good stuff that I got in the runs I've had. Because I beat the game and then, like, you know, had a shit run the next time and then got to the final boss and died on the final boss the next time. So it was like something changed because I was reaching levels I had never been to before because, like I've said before, I kind of suck. I do have the spider rune now.
Okay.
I actually beat the game without it.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how you did that. I thought, like, there were artificial checkpoints where, like, you couldn't...
There are multiple paths through the game.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, I literally thought there were certain levels, like, they funneled you into, like, okay, you need this rune now because you can't progress.
I guess I took the hard way then?
I don't know.
I don't know. I know I had the ground pound rune, the one that'll smash the floor and then, you know, open up different paths that way. But, yeah, I beat it, and then I got the spider one later.
Okay.
Because I was like, all right, I need to go beat conjunctivitis, or conjunctivius, which is a giant eye that attacks you.
Is it pink?
It flashes pink sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, it drops tentacles out the floor that attack you.
Also, it's kind of shitty, so yes.
Yeah, that is the achievement, like, that's the rarest, is being that without getting hit, which
God, no.
fucking impossible.
He's the dude that shoots acid in all directions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah, it
that.
turns into bullet hell for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that game's still fucking awesome. That game is so finely tuned. And I realized also, like, The sound, like the thing I like about it is the weapons feel like they're wrecking things. Like just the way they've done the animations and the way they've tied the sound in with them is like, yeah, I fucking wrecked that guy with this sword. You know, it adds to the fun. You know, it's that level of polish that I think this game has over all the others.
Mhm.
That I just wasn't. You know, when you play something like Slain, immediately after playing Dead Cells, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it now.
Yeah, and I mean that could be going way back. That could be my Crackdown 3 issue. Is I did the opposite. I hopped right on Far Cry at midnight, and then it was like next day. It was like Chuck was like, "You gonna play Crackdown 3?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that came out today too, didn't it?"
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, so I like going from well thought out movement shooting to B tier game was like, I'd rather just go back and 100% this thing,
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just a case where like you don't notice the level of polish until the level of polish is not there,
Right.
And then you're something like, oh, okay. So, but yeah, I mean, if you got brick walled on Dead Cells at some point, maybe go back to it now that they've had the 1.1 update. I think they call it the Pimp My Run update, which
Sure.
you're about 10 years too late for that, guys. But sure, enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's people our age making video games these days, so like
I guess.
People
But
still
hey,
like,
I-
people still like Ghost Riding the Whip.
Yeah, I can't knock
true.
them for making such a fucking awesome game. So.
Do you want to borrow my 360 copy of Pimp My Ride?
I do not.
Didn't that lock
I've
up
played
somebody's
that.
360?
BJ's.
it locked. There was a certain point in that game that every time I went to it, it just hard locked.
Yeah, I somehow avoided having any achievements for that on my profile because I
think I
always
have
played it
2.
over when I was at you guys' houses and was like, all right.
So good.
I was determined for a while. I was like, I'm going to play through this motherfucker, despite what it is. I wish that streaming had been a thing back then.
Streaming should have been around for like the first 2 years of No Quarters at least.
Yeah.
Because we played so many shitty games.
Oh my god!
If us playing that opening of Wheelman had been streamed, holy
Oh
shit.
my God.
That's the hardest I've laughed.
I still wish I had video footage of the first time Harlow and I played Kinect Adventures. Because
Oh my God.
that had to have been one of the funniest things that we've ever done. Like we were having trouble playing because we were laughing so hard.
Yeah. I have 3 achievements in Pimp My Ride.
I'm already checking.
I probably have.
I also have 3.
Yay!
3 out of 30 for
You
Pimp My
have
Ride.
all
I
go
assume
through.
that I have
did we
3
assume?
as well.
Did we get the 3?
Yeah.
The same 3?
I think we did because
You
then
You
the
have
game
Ghost
locks
Road,
up.
your respective whips.
Those-
Pimp in the Making, Ghost Ride the Town, and Hot Step in Perfection.
Those are the 3 I have.
Oh yeah, hot stepping. Yeah.
Yep.
And then we fired that game at the same time into the sun.
I wish I could punch somebody involved with making that game.
Eh,
Oh, it's Activision, that company that used to put out video games.
Oh yeah.
I remember them.
Yeah.
I could punch Bobby Kotick for that game.
You could.
and he deserves it.
Many people would congratulate you for
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
GoFundMe to get me to punch Bobby Kotick in the neck for letting Pimp My Ride happen. I just wanted to say a quick thing about Dead Cells and sort of what they've done and how other games have done this as well. It's really weird that they have almost fundamentally changed the game with a 1.1 patch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so strange to me that we live in an era where the release game can be nothing like No Man's Sky. The game that you play now, if you just put in No Man's Sky for the first time, completely different than the first time you put it in. Dead Cells, not completely different, but there's obviously been some fundamental
Yeah.
changes to the way that
Very
that
much
game
so.
is run. Like, not necessarily like the timing or the feel of things, but the way that game develops over the course of a playthrough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is a wild world we are living in. I cannot imagine if, however many years ago it's been, you'd like get a floppy disk mailed to you from id Software and put it in and it would update Doom.
Yeah. Doom's different.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, demons do 30% more damage now. It's a balance patch. The Caco demons will spawn less frequently in this area.
Well, there's a Doom 2 ray tracing patch out there.
So weird. But I mean, you think about like something like World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I was
How
actually,
they fundamentally changed it with Cataclysm.
yeah. Oh, Cataclysm.
Yes. But you know, like took out areas and just like completely changed areas of the game.
I mean, that's a persistent online game, and I've known persistently online games have done that before. Like
Yeah.
the text-based game that I used to play, they have fundamentally changed some of their areas as well, you know, through ongoing stories that happen in that world.
Yeah.
But a single-player game gets fundamentally changed, and Dead Cells only got released
officially last summer.
Last summer, yeah. So it hasn't even been a year, and they've completely changed. Well, not completely changed, but they have noticeably changed the way that game plays.
I just wish.
It's weird. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a strange thing to notice.
I wish games, when they do something like that, I wish they still gave you the ability to play the original version. Like I really like what FTL did. I mean, I'm breaking my FTL ban, but I just want to point out, like they put out the enhanced edition, which was like, hey, new ship, a whole bunch of new rules, new random encounters, like a whole bunch of things. But on the menu, do you want to play original version or enhanced edition? And it's just a toggle switch, so you can go back and play the vanilla FTL as long as you want. And something like WoW is a good example. People have been clamoring. I think Blizzard finally caved and said they were going to do it, but only for a limited time. That they were going to put up a vanilla original WoW server.
I think at the very least they decided to stop suing people who were running vanilla servers. I think that was maybe the.
But I to this day, I would go back and play Star Wars Galaxies if I could play the original version of it.
You just want to be your gay Wookiee hairdresser again.
Well, I mean, it's gotta live the dream, man. I mean,
there's nothing wrong with that.
And
I'm just saying
I prefer entertainer. Thank you.
Gay entertainer hairdresser.
I was an entertainer Wookiee hairdresser. Yeah.
Oh.
okay.
Okay. Whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's annoying to me because, like, another recent example was the big patch they did to Ghost Recon Wildlands, which for a long time I was like, holy fuck, I mastered flying a helicopter, and now you have made it an X and Y axis. And
figured out how to fly your dumb helicopter.
Right.
Now I can't fly your dumb helicopter.
Yeah, now you've made it like a crane game of a helicopter. Like, oh, I go up, I go forward. I go up, I go forward. You know, and then like when I went in the menus and they're like, here's legacy control, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm back to skimming the ground 6 inches off the ground as I barrel down the river at 90,000 miles an hour. It's all hyperbole, but
we figured that.
Yeah,
we figured that out.
I had a really fast helicopter. It's true. I got it from my girlfriend in Canada. Her uncle works at Nintendo. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, she's a model.
None of that's true.
Her name's Victoria. It's her secret.
Ah, okay.
Nope. Nope.
Does she have roller skates deliver for Amazon?
No.
Good.
Rollerblades.
Duh.
But yeah, no, I just, like I said, I'm all in favor of like fundamentally changing the core gameplay, but like give us a toggle switch or a separate launchable, type of thing, like a different EXE that gives us the original game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that brings us to a break.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's break.
Take a couple deep breaths and dive back into this motherfuckery.
Right.
Boy, these are much softer on my ears.
Yeah.
Not crazy about
A light
the sound.
feather touch.
Like I said,
Gonna have to get used to the sound.
I'm just gonna look for a new headphone amp thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we shouldn't have a port. It makes no sense. You obviously have a defective one.
Right.
Right. Oh man.
So much fuckery.
Buy 4 sets of headphones that are all identical. A brand new headphone amp and a professional studio space.
Well, when we buy that warehouse with our lottery money.
I know. I need to play the lottery too.
Yeah.
Look at that chat blowing up.
We should just kill the live
The
stream.
internet is dead tonight. I don't know what the deal is. Like
Everyone was on the internet all day today.
Yeah.
Everyone was just joking about Cohen, and it was just
I was not. So how'd the Cohen thing go?
Oh, about as you'd expect.
it was
He totally dropped every dime.
yeah. It was here's all the truths.
So why were senators allowed to interview him? I thought he was
it
like
was a
under
Senate hearing
prosecution.
he was able to talk about things that aren't currently being prosecuted.
Okay.
They asked him some questions that he was like, I can't. The Southern District of New York is prosecuting that, so.
So my understanding is like the Republicans were just like, "This is stupid. Why are we doing this?" And then the
Pretty much.
Democrats were actually asking questions that were like, "Hey, this is what we're here for, right?"
Literally no Republican defended Donald Trump. It was just, you're a liar.
Oh,
But like no one was listening to what he said and said, well, how come this, or no one was in any way saying that's not true. Trump wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. It was all just like, you lied to us before, therefore you're a liar. No one was putting together the fact that his lie was Donald Trump did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And now they're all like, they're convinced you lied to us. Donald Trump clearly did something wrong, and now that you're telling us what that is, we're not believing you because you're a liar.
It was all lying at the behest of
Yes.
Donald J. Trump.
Yes. I don't know. There were maybe 20 crimes that he implicated Trump and his entire family in, and the entire Republican Party would just go, yeah, but he's giving us stuff.
It's all tribal.
Is he, though? Is he getting that much stuff?
Just the rich ones. The problem is that the poor ones are like, one day I'll be that rich, and therefore I'll get my tax cut.
Well, when I win the lottery, I will pay my fair share of taxes.
God damn. I've just, from the beginning, I just said, look, man,
And then I will abscond.
I would
from this
love to be in a tax bracket where I'm paying 70%. That
Yeah.
that means I'm a fucking billionaire. You know what? I'm lighting money on fire. I don't care. Take it.
After my first 10 million, I don't.
Yeah.
Man, I could give a fuck about the next 10 million. That's, I mean, I don't know.
You mean I'll make up that entire 70% in interest
Yeah.
on my billions? Fine.
There was
Yeah.
never ever going to be a day where I would like I've looked at the way my life was set up, and there's never ever going to be a day where I make that much money.
Nope.
Never. I never have to worry about it.
Nope.
And
Like my immediate family was not going to leave me any money. I don't have any like, oh, your weird Uncle Jack no one heard from for 40 years. You're his only living heir, and you've got that's
no,
never
just-
going to happen to
it's-
me.
It's just the economic situation, and the economic reality that I was born into.
Yeah.
Like, not going to happen.
No.
Unless there's like, there could be one miracle that happens, and I get extraordinarily lucky.
Yes.
And most people are like that. Like, they're born into an economic situation where that shit's just not going to happen from the get out.
Yeah. This pull yourself up by the bootstraps and suddenly you're a millionaire? No.
Well, I mean,
Well, the door's
being a
shut.
millionaire is not that difficult to do anymore. I mean, it's the billionaires are the thing we have to worry about now. I'm saying, like,
But
I
think-
know normal people that have $1 million, like in whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like, here's the thing, and I agree with what BJ is saying because I've had the exact same thought, which is that I basically like I've seen the entire any path my life could go down, like all the sliding doors options of maybe this choice, maybe that, or there is literally no path to an idea, a job, a promotion, a career, nothing in my entire wheelhouse wherever I would be in a point where suddenly I'm a millionaire. Never going to happen. The lottery is the only way that could ever happen.
Yeah.
There's not an inheritance. There's not a... I mean, I wouldn't want to get it from like an insurance settlement because that would mean I got injured in some horrible way.
Yeah.
That'd be fine.
Yeah. But like,
I guess
there's
that's the beginning
zero
of this.
pathways to it. Like,
Oh, we were talking about the 70% tax thing.
yeah, and how much I would kill to be in a 70% tax bracket because that would mean I'm a millionaire.
Yeah.
Again,
I mean,
I don't understand why poor people are like, fuck that. They're not taking my money if I'm a millionaire. Fuck you.
Yeah. Because basically my argument for against these people is like, all of you who are alive now and aren't already rocketing on your path towards being a millionaire, It's not going to happen. You're never going to be. You're never going to be in a position where a 70% marginal tax rate is going to affect you or anyone you know or your anyone on your block.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, honestly, there are less and less paths to anything.
Exactly.
Anymore. You know,
Everything's been done.
Yeah, I mean, you just think about like podcasting. Like we know we're not getting new and notable on iTunes.
No, we're not.
Ever.
Nope.
Like that path is gone. You have to be famous in order to get those.
you have to be famous for a podcast to work at all right now. Like,
Yeah.
even
or
if you
have just been around long enough, like we have, where we have like just enough people that found us organically.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see us ever like suddenly blowing up into something crazy,
Well, it's
different than what we are.
I don't know. I don't want to like jump down that rabbit hole, but I mean, it's very annoying to me, more so than like, look, I know Apple's a $1 trillion company, and you know, it's of course it's going to partner with other million or billionaire people that are promoting your podcasts, but it annoys me more that like places like AV Club that could be about discovery are like, hey, let me tell you about this podcast you've probably already heard about.
Oh yeah,
like,
their top
like,
10
like I'm saying, like
movie
that
podcasts.
that kind of
are-
things are really annoying. It's like, why are you continually promoting the already famous? Like we know about them. Like I know about Serial. I know about this. You know, This American Life. I mean, it's
I
like,
like cereal. You
you
put
know,
milk in it.
you know, I'm saying like you don't have to tell me about the things everyone is already fucking talking about.
Yeah, well, it's like, you know, it's just like, oh, David Tennant started a new podcast. Well, of course everyone's going to fucking listen to that. You don't have to tell me about that. It's always like some writer knows someone who was on a TV show, and they decide to do a podcast about that TV show because that actor is no longer working. You know, it's like the West Wing podcast.
Yeah.
It's
Who from the West Wing did they grab?
Josh Malina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
But-
then you've got like I'm gonna directly talk shit about other bad movie podcasts. Like the most popular one has a bunch of Hollywood insiders, like a bunch of writers and a bunch of people with access to other celebrities. So they get celebrities on. And like I love Mark Maron's podcast, which isn't a movie podcast, but like he's a famous comedian, so he gets a lot of good guests. And he had the president on a few years ago,
Yes.
because he's a famous comedian who talks to famous people and has connections. Like weird shit like that's probably never gonna happen for us.
Yeah, but I mean,
but we're
that was just an example for me. Like,
yeah.
like all these paths to something, like they're all closing, or have closed already.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, if you didn't make it already, like good luck. You're going to have to invent something completely different, and even then, somebody's going to crush you for it if you don't make it foolproof.
Yeah. And even all these people who supposedly, like, we're supposed to look up to as bootstrappers, like, HP was started in a garage, but it was basically bankrolled by one of their parents. Google, practically the same thing. These guys were going to Ivy League universities, you know, were $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 a year universities.
Literally every success story you've ever heard from anyone, no matter how humble they are, somewhere in the 7th paragraph of their Wall Street Journal, hey, here's a guy you've never heard about, is the detail. After a loan of $4 million from their father,
Yep.
they were able to launch their business. It's like, yeah, I could do whatever I wanted if someone loaned me $4 million. I could make money on that. I could have an idea that $4 million could turn into $8 million.
I could advertise
Absolutely.
$4 million into $8 million.
Yes. Yes. That's everything. There's literally no... A kid was at a lemonade stand, and suddenly their weird brand of lemonade is now worth $10 million.
Yeah.
Never happened.
Or even going away from that. I mean, just side tangential thing is like we used to like hear about so and so was discovered, you know, actor or whatever wise. Now it's like everybody's somebody's son, cousin,
yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like people you don't even realize. Like,
Their uncle was an agent
well,
for.
I mean, some of them are obvious because they have the same last name, but then you'll find out it's like, oh, I had no idea that was so and so's daughter. And it's like, well, yeah, obviously
Yeah.
they were already
It's-
on the lot,
Yeah.
and
I mean, how many reality shows do we have now where it's about discovering a star, and how many of those stars stick? like the first couple
Kelly Clarkson.
the first
was
couple of
about to say
seasons
Kelly
of
Clarkson.
American Idol were like,
Yeah, I know.
okay, that person lingered around for a while and had a career, but like
Jennifer
name
Hudson was an American Idol late
Yeah.
season.
Carrie Underwood was. as
yes,
well.
Carrie Underwood,
but
yeah.
that shows
And of course,
Blake
Tay Tay.
Wait, Taylor Swift was a?
Yeah, she was American Idol winner.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yep.
Soul Patrol.
Wasn't Blake Shelton?
Are you talking about Do I Make You Proud, whatever his name is?
I don't know, but like okay, so
The
that
white-haired
show
guy that
yeah,
was like 25?
yeah. So that show's been on for
Tyler Hicks.
20 seasons.
Taylor.
There's been 20 seasons of that show. You've named people from the first 10.
Oh,
Name one person from the last 10.
I don't know.
Frank Idol.
Jiminy Brisket.
Jiminy Brisket is a
All right,
good
that's
name.
it. We're starting a brisket company. We're calling it Jiminy Brisket. we will have a grasshopper mascot that looks vaguely like Jiminy Cricket.
he'll be
Except
be
he's made out of
a
meat.
cow patched, like he'll look like a Jersey cow.
That's it.
All right.
We've got
Jiminy
this.
Brisket.
Here's our idea.
When you wish upon a steer.
God
Yes, we've done it. Don't sue
if
us,
this was
Disney.
the 1950s, we'd be on our way right now.
damn. Yeah, see? If the door hadn't shut,
Exactly.
we would be there.
But
There's already too much competition in
there's
the brisket
20
market.
million brisket companies out there.
You can order a brisket from Franklin's and it'll be here in 2 days, and you can't beat Franklin's.
We basically have to go to Mars at this point and bring home something from Mars and just this
Matt
is a new
Damon.
thing you can't
Teenagers
get
from
here.
Mars.
Yes.
and
Matt Damon and the Rover.
yeah.
No, we bring back opportunity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that Rover.
But
yeah.
the thing is,
and we
we'll,
skateboard on it.
we'll fucking never. Where would we get that money? It's not like we can save it. It's impossible for anybody our age and our incomes to save money.
Let's go fund me a Mars trip.
Yeah, all I can say is like Jen and I this year, like last year, made more money than we'd ever seen because we ended up between the two of us, we ended up with a raise of about 40%.
Jesus Lord.
However,
I would stab each and every one of you in this room for a 40% raise.
we work between 50 and 60 hours every single week.
I could work.
A minimum of 50 hours, usually closer to 60, usually extra stuff on weekends in addition to that.
Mhm.
That's the problem is like that. Those are your options now. Like
Yeah.
work your ass off and have literally no life outside of work. Like I, people don't realize I'm late every week now. Like every week I don't get to eat with you guys or drive or ride in the car with you guys because I'm always trying to wrap up work. And those are like the only fucking options now.
And I would wager even with that 40% increase in pay,
Yeah.
you guys don't live a extravagant lifestyle. I mean,
No.
you have a very modest lifestyle.
You haven't been to one of their cocaine
I just
parties.
buy more video games now.
Yeah, but I'm
That you don't- that
guessing
you can't play.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's not like such a surplus where you're just like, man, we are going to retire early. It is probably still.
Oh, fuck no.
We are pretty much getting by.
We're still paying off her student loans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's still like we're still 4 years off from paying them off.
I think that's the thing. That's probably the thing. All these quote unquote bootstrap stories, if you just read the line that said someone paid for them to go to a prestigious university, that's fucking enough.
Yeah, that's like a
because if you have $100,000 in student loan debts, and that's probably mild for most places, that. I mean, what's the long term? Like, what are you actually owing? What are you paying back over 20, 30
Yeah,
years or whatever?
Yeah.
Same as a house. You're paying like, 3 times the
Right.
cost?
That's what I mean.
The
It's-
biggest step ahead I got was getting a scholarship to college and not having to pay for it. Like that is by far the biggest step ahead I ever got in my life.
Yeah. I mean, my life step at this point basically is just like I would like to be in a nicer house before I die. I would like to get to a point where we can sell the house we're in, move into a nicer place, be a little more comfortable, and that's it. Like that's my pie in the sky dream at this point. Reality is I'm probably in this house that I'm in now for the rest of my life. But if something just goes the right, just like a slot machine pull, or hey, I'm putting money on Black 8, let's go.
Yeah.
If something hits, just a little bit of just like now we're in a nicer house. Isn't this nice?
Also, you wouldn't really bet on Black 8. All the numbers are one color or the other, always.
But
Never
it's
mind.
black.
You would bet on black or you bet 8.
I know,
Okay.
but I'm just
Chuck
saying.
doesn't gamble.
I
know.
I'm
I'm
just
just
saying.
explaining that.
I know specifically that 8 is black because for reasons
Passenger
I won't get into.
57. I don't know.
Anyway, let's do a second half.
Yeah, should we talk about video games?
Yeah.
Sure.
Video games, another thing there's no path to success on anymore.
Did I put the wrong episode number? Are we 103?
Yeah,
Really?
103.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I don't. For some reason, I don't remember changing that.
You did. I saw you.
Yep.
I watched you do
Well, good.
Thanks.
The I was just thinking, like, they're also every time. Just the last thing we'll say on this: every time that the world discovers a new thing that you can make money on, like YouTube, Twitch, in like a month, you have maybe a month after that to jump on that bandwagon, and maybe if you have the exact combination of like luck and talent and a whole lot more luck,
Yeah.
you might be able to catch that star. That's another thing is every once in a while something comes along on the internet
Right.
that's like, oh, here's a way to make $1 million. But it lasts,
It's one
Two
video
and a
game
half-
streamer.
it's 2.5 years maximum
Sure.
that bubble lasts.
It's one
And-
6-year-old kid opening toys. It's one
Right.
video game streamer. It's one.
There are people that make a living on Twitch, but nobody's a superstar except like Shroud and Ninja.
Right.
Like nobody's making millions. And those people aren't even like, they're making comfortable money.
Yeah.
Like I think Ninja is making a couple $1 million a year.
Yes.
And PewDiePie was making a few $1 million a year. But even that fucker, thank fuck he doesn't. But even that fucker doesn't make enough to hit that 70% marginal tax rate.
Well, and just think, their only responsibility is don't be racist.
Oh,
And they can't fucking do
and
it.
they fail that
They
every
can't-
time.
Well, I also think about, too, like, Patreon. Patreon has come up with a thing that should just generate fucking money. And somehow they don't make money off of it.
Venture capital.
Yeah, and they have to pay back all these people who are like, no, you got to grow it bigger and bigger. And it's like, take your fucking 5%.
Yeah.
How many people have a Patreon? I mean, we're low tier, incredibly low tier.
Yep.
But also
And we still have
incredibly-
almost 100 people that give to us
and
every
also
month.
incredibly lucky. Like
Yeah.
there are people out there with 1 or 2 patrons at most, and we are very, very fortunate.
Yeah,
but we are not top tier in any way. shape,
Oh
or
yeah,
form.
but you
we're
think
good.
about the ones who are just like, that have like 8,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
And the majority of those people are giving them, $10 a month or $5 a month.
I've seen plenty where people are making in the tens of thousands of dollars a month
yeah,
on Patreon, and Patreon gets 5% of that. So
yeah,
yeah,
and
and
that's
now
way
here
more
comes
than-
Facebook, who thinks they're going to take 30%, and people are going to go, yeah, let's
and they're
going to
own all the content.
Yep.
technically up to 30%, and also technically license. They get an impenetrable infinite license, so they don't technically own it, but they get a license to use it.
I'm sure.
But
But come
that's
up
still-
in court if you tried to take it away from them.
That's still, it's not. That means you can still use it, but that doesn't make it less shady. That just makes it
Facebook's
a
gonna
specifically
fucking ruin it.
legal kind of
They're
shady.
going to fucking ruin it if Patreon doesn't fuck themselves first.
Patreon's trying, man. I don't like trying to fuck themselves. It seems, but
Yeah, I don't understand how they can't be getting the money back to these fucking venture capital people.
it's because they
At
took
this
out
point.
tens of millions of dollars in venture capital that they didn't need.
Yeah, because like that's
$60 million
Yeah.
in VC. You don't need that for a website that processes payments monthly.
just take a little off the top, manage the website, maybe come up with a tip every 6 months. Like, hey, here's a way to maybe get another patron.
Yeah.
No, they've got like 40 offices now that they don't need. They're paying 100,000 people to do, to jerk each other off, I
They
guess.
must be paying Taryn by the email.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
God.
Yeah,
Taryn
Taryn.
does email us
Shut
a
the
lot.
fuck up, Taryn.
But yeah, but it's like Harlow said. I don't know where it was, but like it's capitalism it won't let you just sustain.
No, I mean,
You
the
have to-
corporations
have
yeah.
infinite
You
growth.
have to continue to grow, and it's bullshit.
Yeah, you
It's
can't-
not
how
capitalism.
can-
It's the corporate mentality of like you must always go up, and if not, you cut jobs. Or,
And if you don't go up, if you're still maintaining, that's somehow a failure.
I know.
And now
How
you
is
must
that a
panic.
failure?
Yes, if you don't have growth, if you are maintaining, you are failing at business.
well, it's worse when it's like you're telling me that we were supposed to grow during 2008, 2002, like
Yeah.
the recession years, like how,
Right.
like
My
Yeah.
industry is the only industry that is predicated on not losing right now.
Yeah.
Like everywhere else is like, we have to make growth. We're just like, can we please be stable for
but it's
10
it's,
months?
It's a dumb fucking system because you have giant corporations that must post a profit. They go through recession years, lay off 5-10% of their work staff, which makes the entire economy worse. It's like it's systematic or is it systemic, I guess, because it's like
It's both.
yeah,
I think.
yeah, but I mean, it's like you're driving the economy down by being unwilling to just sustain. Like you're putting people out of work who then can't pay their houses, who then make this company. It's just fucking. It's a domino. It's a goddamn domino effect.
Activision record earnings, laid off 800 people.
Yep.
You know what's going to happen? They don't have 800 people to make things now. So
They don't make games. That's the problem. They had 800 people and no games for them to work
well, no,
on.
How did they make
how did they make record revenue then?
Yeah.
They're making stuff. They're making
Because they own Candy Crush, which is on autopilot.
yeah.
I heard someone talking about playing that the other day. I was like, that's not done. I mean, that's what's always weird to me is like when there is something like some.
Oh, I see the commercials. They just name
yeah.
it Candy Crush Soda.
Oh, I don't know.
Candy
they,
Crush
they
whatever.
just changed one. Now it's Candy Crush Gummy Bears. And
yeah.
it's just
It's just weird to me with the constantly changing zeitgeist that things like that will stick around. Like people still playing Angry Birds. It's like
oh yeah.
I don't know. It's just I guess the way I
I'm
look
just
at
glad
these things.
Farmville went away.
Did it though?
Or
I mean,
Facebook games at least.
Facebook games went
yeah,
away.
I-
I don't
well,
know.
now
Because
everyone's-
everybody blocked every Facebook.
and now everyone's playing farming simulator on whatever. system,
Exactly.
too,
Yeah.
so-
Because that's
That's
fucking rad.
I mean,
All right.
you get
yeah.
to drive a fucking tractor in Farming Simulator.
yeah.
Sure.
We
All right.
almost got it back around to video games.
Yep.
So while we're on
Yep.
that momentum, let's
There we go.
drive
There's your
into the second
Patreon
half.
content.
There you go. Bonus for you. I'll cut
You
that
can
out.
hear us rant and rave
Yeah.
like old men.
Gonna get
Poor-
political.
Poor old men getting political.
Our
For-
hashtag
Yeah.
lefty ass liberal
Meager
lean.
podcasters teach you about business.
All right. So let's get this done.
yeah.
We should probably
this
clap,
done by
'cause
11.
That's a long
do it.
thing.
What?
We probably need a clap so you can.
Oh yes. Yes, please.
Oh, 100%. All right, welcome back. Second half.
Hey, still a motherfucking video game podcast.
Still is.
Yeah.
So, Chuck,
Round 2.
Yes.
Fight.
you know who I really like?
Who?
BioWare.
Yeah, they're good.
They put out a new game I didn't play and kind of avoided, actually,
Yep.
called Anthem.
And I'm kind of surprised you did play it.
Well,
Remind me real quick what, because I've completely forgotten what the fuck BioWare does that everybody likes.
Dragon Age, Mass
Effect.
Effect,
Thank you.
Back to older things like
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate, wasn't
Yep.
it? Yeah.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Right.
Thank you.
Those things. All right, let's talk about Anthem for a second.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
their destiny, right?
In more ways than one.
More their
Yeah.
like their density.
So
Sick burns the both of you.
here's the thing about BioWare. They would probably qualify as my most played video game company. Their last
By hours.
well, their last 7 games I played to completion and played every piece of DLC they released. So the 3 Dragon Age games and the 4 Mass Effects. And that's a lot of time invested in that.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of the games that they make. Someone somewhere in BioWare thought we got to get some of that Destiny money. Even though Destiny really wasn't, I mean, like people were talking about it, but a lot of people were talking about it in a this kind of sucks way.
Everybody's always bitching about Destiny.
Yes,
But
Even
people are
people
still
who
playing
like
it.
Destiny bitch about Destiny.
they do. And so anyway, they decided to chase the Destiny model. And so let me describe the game this way. Imagine that you're playing Mass Effect and you're walking around and you're talking to the characters and you're on the Citadel and you're building your story and
Some of the best parts of the game.
yes, and you're interacting with people and you're learning about your character and you're buying things and going around and then it's like, okay, we got to get to the moon to we got to just
There's
There's
a
a
wizard.
wizard.
yes.
Saw that one coming.
So, you just got to get in your moon buggy and go do stuff. And you're like, okay, sign up for that mission, go. And you get out there, and then suddenly there are 3 other people also doing the thing at the same time you're doing it. And they can trigger cutscenes and end game stuff for the level before you even get there. And you can miss dialogue and you can miss story and you can almost not do anything in the entire level and other people can finish it for you and it's over.
That doesn't sound great.
And then a bunch of loot shoots out of something at the end and you get a bunch of worthless loot to look at.
Okay.
This game is baffling to me. Like I don't understand what they're doing. I mean, obviously someone came to them and said, make a Destiny. We need one. And it's got all the Destiny bullshit in it of, especially all the proper noun bullshit of, there's a world-changing event called the Cataclysm, and you've got to get the Spear of Truth. And
Cataclysm?
oh, sorry.
Cataclysm.
Please get it
Chuck.
correct.
Sorry.
Catahoula Cataclysm.
So it's got all that proper noun bullshit in it.
It's just a cat going crazy.
Shut the fuck up!
It's not nice, Chuck.
It's accurate, though.
It is.
The thing about Destiny was that while it was multiplayer, when you would get into the Destiny world, you would all be doing the same thing, but on your own terms. Like, you're all running around the world doing something, but it doesn't count if someone else does it for you. Like, they're doing it in their game, and you're doing it in your game.
Mm-hmm.
You just happen to see everybody running around doing shit, and you can team up and go do stuff if you want.
I could be wrong, but it felt like, okay, let's say we're both blasting at an enemy in Destiny, at least. Like, if I did 20% damage and they did 80% of the damage, I felt like the loot split that equal amount, too.
Sounds about right.
Like, I felt like, the Orby bits that shot out of a dude were like, oh, he got a little bit, and that guy probably got a lot.
Yeah, I think that's right, and I think Anthem kind of does that too. But it's just...
But you're saying, like, you go to a place pre-forming a party, because like, there were open world parts of Destiny, but, like, if you were going to do a mission,
Yeah.
it match made
Yeah.
before you got there, and you were all like, okay, let's go kill the thing.
The first mission of the game is a single-player experience where it is setting up the world and setting up the characters, and you're like, okay, fine. Then you go into the hub world and you talk to some people, and some mysterious person shows up and recruits you to go do a thing. And they're like, we need you. You're the only one who can do this. And I'm like, goddamn right I am. I'm the chosen one. Let's go. And then you hit start or hit A or whatever makes the launch the mission, and suddenly there are 4 of you. And it's like, this doesn't even make sense from a story point of view.
You're
like,
all chosen
Like,
ones.
we're all the chosen ones? What are we? We all look different. We're not the same character. What is this?
We're the Lone Rangers.
Yeah, it just... I don't know. I don't know what this is. It's not fun to play. You would think it would be fun to play because you're basically Iron Man flying around, but your jetpack overheats after about 12 seconds, and the only way to cool it down is to stop using it and land, or fly through a waterfall if you can find one to cool it off.
And we're back to chasing waterfalls.
It just... There's zero fun to be had. Like, I played this for maybe an hour. I did 2 or 3 missions and was just like, usually you front load your game with the fun stuff to get people to keep playing it. Man, I don't know. I don't want to do this. I really don't. I especially don't want to do it with other people.
I feel like that's your entire model, which is why I'm confused that you even picked up Destiny.
Because
or
Anthem.
Whatever.
Because it's a BioWare
Destiny's
game.
Child, okay?
And I figured that
Yeah,
I
I
should
don't like it.
I should see what their final game was.
I have
Also because I had 10 hours free with EA access.
I keep hearing like the Anthem. There are problems with it, like insane load times, and like the matchmaking stuff is dumb, and
The
like,
weapon selection is
selection
really
and back and forthing in missions.
stupid.
But I keep hearing that basically the biggest sin of Anthem is that it's kind of just milquetoast. Like it's not exciting. There's nothing.
That's Destiny. I mean...
Yeah, I feel the same way about that.
They had good gun physics, because I feel like that's the one thing Bungie gets is like aim down the sight and it shoots where you think it should be shooting.
Oh, Destiny was a
6
great
is-
shooter.
Right, but I mean everything you did was like so hollow, like
Yeah.
not the bullets.
I'm not
like, just
comparing this to
pew, pew.
Destiny in any way because I have no frame of reference other than the like 3 hours that I played when I got it in Redbox 100 years ago, and I found that kind of hollow. But I'm just comparing an apple to the exact same apple.
Yeah.
I've heard that it's very, very dry. Like there's not a lot of flavor to the world, and what flavor there is in the world, you have to go find in like lore tablets or whatever. You don't actually get any of that in playing through the game. You have to.
Did you say lore tablets?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought.
Take that from my
you said
allergies.
Laura tabs. I was like, yeah, it's like oh,
I mean,
that's
there's
about,
no flavor in lore tabs, but I certainly enjoy them.
it's about the same feeling I have playing Anthem.
Yeah.
But that's what I hear the most frequent complaint, and it looks, from everything I've seen, it looks gorgeous.
It does. It
looks
looks
like
nice.
a really pretty game,
And
it
flying
looks
around
like,
is fun. It
Yeah.
really is. And the shooting is pretty good. But Like even the dialogue stuff that you get to do when you're in the hub world, it's all you only get 2 dialogue choices instead of like up to 6, which was in all the other games, and the choices are basically super nice, maybe slightly sarcastic.
Huh.
And
So no renegade option.
No.
Fuck you.
there's
I'll
no like
shoot who I
punch the
want.
homeless person or throw the reporter out of an airlock or anything like that.
Man,
This whole like persistently online, and this has kind of pervaded a little bit of the or a few of the games that we've talked about, like that whole persistent online thing that's happening now. This is what everybody was worried. Well, maybe it's not what everybody was worried about, but this is a side effect of what everybody was worried about when these consoles launched.
It's what single player
6 years
games
ago.
like me were worried about.
Yeah.
I don't mind
You are a
games as a
single-player
service
game.
because like there are games that work well as a service. Constantly updating things, getting you to come back in. I think Forza Horizon 4 is a game that it feels like a service that works for me. It is an online game. There are always people in your world, but it's not like they're running the race and then suddenly you have that race has been won and therefore it's off your checklist and you never did it.
That kind of stuff though is like, I feel like we're not being very well served. Like,
I mean,
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm just not being very well served with these kind of games because if I want to play with other people, I will go to a game mode where there are other people.
Yeah.
I think it stems from. I mean, I could just be spitballing here, but
Please, we're all just bullshitting.
I feel like they know that they make more money off of skins and
Exactly.
clothes and all that, and
Yes.
nobody's going to buy that for a single player game.
You're right.
I mean, the entire point is to like, hey, look at me. And
Yeah, people bought horse armor.
yeah, but that was like the
His-
very
his
first.
joke, his
we didn't
joke,
even
his
know
joke.
what we were getting into.
We had no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, but
but
yeah.
you're right. Yes.
I mean, I feel like these are all just skins to get you. The games now are skins to get you to spend money for stupid things.
Yes.
That's.
Yeah,
I mean,
guess.
it's part.
It's all clicker games. It's
Yeah, I
clicker
was
games
going
all
to
the way
say
down.
it's part. It's part this online only model thing that we feared mixed with the bullshit that is mobile gaming. You know, this like, oh, we bring in psychologists to figure out exactly how far you can get pushed before you will just give us $1 and then wrap it all up again until you just give us another $1.
Yeah.
You know, and
I guess the biggest thing that hurts about Anthem is that I can't, for the life of me, see any. And if I'm wrong, I apologize. But I cannot see any game producer, game director, game visionary sitting down in a room with a blackboard saying, here's the game I want to make, and it's Anthem. Not a fucking chance that any non-marketing, non-business bullshit person.
I was going to say there is a whiteboard that is happening,
Sure.
but it's got a bunch of things like ROI on
I'm
it.
saying there's not one single creative type who sat down and said, what if we made Anthem? No way. Just absolutely no fucking way.
That game didn't get pitched in a room with beanbag chairs and marijuana. It got pitched in a boardroom.
Exactly. They started with loot box and then they worked backwards.
If they
Oh,
had-
you mean Star Wars Battlefront 2?
if they had beanbags, it was ironically.
Yes.
It was really just yoga balls and boba tea. Like, what if we did have like, and then we can make them buy skins and
Rolling around. Anyway, rest in peace, BioWare.
BioWare. Where did you
it's a
go?
bummer, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
Yeah,
speaking of bones.
yeah. Speaking of BioWare,
Oh,
I mean-
Speaking of extinct,
yeah.
there's
speaking of-
getting closer.
I don't know. Speaking of the next game I'm going to talk about,
Yeah.
Speaking
Oh,
of
there it is.
the shepherd.
sure, yeah, yeah. We this got talked about before, but I sort of fell hard into Jurassic World Evolution.
this is the
Base,
RTS.
yeah, the base building RTS. Well, RTS,
No, it's
not
more of
RTS.
a-
It's just a base building thing.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park Tycoon.
yeah, basically.
That's right. Yeah, Jurassic Park Tycoon. That's
yeah,
Yeah, you kind of took that torch and ran with it.
Yeah, it was just like it's one of the things I bought it on a sale, and then I just kind of fired it up, and it's just sort of like the mechanics clicked with me one night, and I realized, you know, what you needed to do to make a successful park. Because I felt like the first
dinosaurs.
time, well, the first time I tried it, it was like I was like, okay, I have a good variety of dinosaurs. I seem to have hotels and things that people should want, and I didn't really realize that you have to really drill into like, it's not just that they want this; it's that they don't want to be over here looking at dinosaurs and have to go over here to get a drink. You know, you've got to put, you know, it's got to be logical as far as like the necessities of like, you know, food and beverage wants and needs and fun and all that needs to be logically laid out. And as soon as I started like realizing that there were management views that would tell you all that, I was like, oh, okay, getting 5 stars is kind of a cinch now, because it's really just, it kind of directly tells you what you need. It's like, you need at least this many different varieties of dinosaurs and their quality level. I don't remember what the word is that it uses. Like their, because you can splice different genomes into the dinosaurs to like give them longer life or more disease resilience and things like that, and that affects their overall rating. That's what it is, rating, dinosaur rating. And so it's not just like I have 4 velociraptors and a T-Rex and people are going to come in droves. It's like, yeah, you have 4, you know, shit basic velociraptors that aren't high rating. You know, you got to fuck with their DNA a little bit and get them you know, a higher rating.
No one wants to go travel to see the shit raptors.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, that's
Your
I
Raptors
believe that's the Toronto Raptors.
Your Raptors need to be more extra.
Yeah. Basic ass.
Did I make a
Raptors.
sports ball joke?
You did, yeah.
Is it relevant
Well,
still?
I don't know.
Are they still
No,
a
the
team?
Raptors are good.
Oh, they're good now?
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
One of the best teams in the NBA.
God damn it.
Sorry.
Your joke's a flop.
I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so it just kind of clicked, and now I've gotten 5 stars on everything but the last island.
Oh,
and
God.
I'm working on that.
That's, man, you're a better man than I.
Well-
I tried to go back and I couldn't remember how to do anything, and I was like, I need to start over. And I was not in the mood to start all the way
Yeah,
over.
the hardest one is there's the one long skinny island that has like almost no room to build anything. Like you can get like a pin, maybe 2 if they're really small, and you've just got some very specific goals and what not to do. That one's the most annoying, and it's strange because I want to say that's the 3rd out of 5 islands. So it's like
I think it's the 4th.
maybe
Because the 3rd one is the one from the movie, and you're rebuilding it.
which one? Like the original movie?
No, from Jurassic World.
I thought that was the last one. That's like the because there's one like
Well, no, because I unlocked that one. It was the 3rd one.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, they give you Isla Nublar, which is just like the sandbox island. You
Yeah.
can do whatever you want on there. That's the original Jurassic Park island. But then, like, there's
Yeah,
the very last island is like something. Maybe it's the Jurassic Park 2 island, because like it's just when you start off, there's like random dinosaurs just roaming around, and you got to kind of like corral them. So like you start off with like some Stegosaurus and other shit just roaming around, and you've got to like build pins and move them over if you want to keep them or just sell them or whatever. But so it's probably Lost World Island, because I think they bring Jeff Goldblum back for that one. It's like, oh, Dr. Malcolm's familiar with this one.
Okay.
Remember your daughter did some gymnastics here, and you're here. They ate Toby from The West Wing.
In the best scene ever.
Yeah, but no, I just, like I said, it clicked, and I don't know. I guess some of the voices are funny. Some of them are funny bad. Some of them are funny good. Like the not Chris Pratt guy is just atrocious.
Yeah.
The Bryce Dallas Howard one is so good I can't tell if it's her or not,
I think it is her.
and I haven't looked it up. Like it's
I think it is.
okay. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's weird because they've got Dr. Wu is actually, what is it, Benedict Wong, or is that
Yes.
the other guy? Yeah.
BD Wong.
BD Wong.
Wong.
Yes, Benedict Wong is Wong from Doctor Strange.
Yes.
I was confused there too, and I'm sorry. Just name wise.
Yeah. No, I think it is
yeah.
Bryce. I remember like the 3 of them being like the names who signed
Yeah, I
on
mean
to it.
it's obviously Jeff Goldblum because he's like your main narrator dude.
Right.
But like it continually cracks me up. The security guy. The security guy is this black dude who looks basically almost exactly like Idris Elba, like just the same kind of thing. And they gave him the most like country ass bumpkin voice.
It's
Like
great.
I mean, like when I say these, like they're just still pictures. Like they don't. I
Yeah.
don't think they even bother to facial animate the
They do
3
not.
like, because there's entertainment, science, and security people that manage your park for you, and they gave him like little avatar things, but they don't ever like bother to animate them. But yeah, when he comes on, he's like, "Why, you handled that contract real good," and it's like, what? Yeah, I don't. He
Pretty
just
great.
that guy always continually cracks me up. But yeah, I don't know. It's fun, and I don't understand. I feel like people turned on this game pretty hard, and I think it's like some kind of byproduct of people just hate the Jurassic World movies, and so they're like,
think so.
So they're just like, this game must also suck because it has a tie to it, and I question. I'm like, if you've wanted a Jurassic Park sim, like Sim Jurassic Park, for as long as I have,
Yeah.
this is as close and is probably as good as you're ever going to get. Like, it's a really, like, if you want that, it's really good. I mean, if you can even just ignore the fact that there's Jurassic World stuff in there, except for not Chris Pratt and maybe Bryce Dallas Howard showing up, you know, and references to stuff in that, like that, you know, you eventually unlock the Indominus Rex thing from the first Jurassic World. So it's like you've got these dumb Jurassic World hybrid dinosaur
Do
things.
people continually remind you that it's a really fucking stupid idea to have that thing?
Yeah, not Chris Pratt is like, this isn't even a dinosaur, man. It's like,
Yeah, man.
this is an abomination. Yeah.
He's right.
Well, to be fair, like, you know, it's the only one in my entire dinosaur list. Like, you know, there's usually like the herbivore or carnivore, you know, plant or veggie or meat symbol on them. But like his is he's purple. Like everyone else is like normal dinosaurs, and then it's just like Indominus Rex has this purple box around him. Like, not exactly a dinosaur. Just so you know, it's a hybrid, and it's cool because like its stats are whatever your T-Rex and Velociraptor stats are, because he's literally a clone of the two, like put together. So I happen to have them both maxed out, so it was like, oh, cool, I can make a badass Indominus Rex. But
That will then get loose and eat your entire park.
yeah, sometimes turn invisible, I think, or something to do
Yeah.
that, like chameleon blood or some shit.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but I don't know. The game's fun, and if you want a Jurassic Park base builder, I don't understand what you have to complain about, except for laughable, you know, pinball effects voices from time to time.
I've watched a little of it streamed, and I really like when shit goes wrong and all your little people run for your shelters.
Oh yeah,
That's fun to watch.
yeah. I mean, like when dinosaurs get loose, the sounds that they give in the crowd are really fun and scary at the same time. Like launching a Velociraptor and a T-Rex for the first time.
Oh yeah,
You still
those
have-
animations are really cool.
They're real, like the animation and then the sound. It's just like that is so ingrained into me that it's like it's so spot on. Like, and it's just like it gives you chills, and you're kind of terrified at the same time. You're like, why did I just make a murder monster? Like, and why did I put it in a cage and think I can control this? You know, like, I don't know. It's
You were so
interesting.
preoccupied
It was.
with whether or not you
Yeah,
could.
yeah. I mean, later there was running and screaming. So,
I need to get back into it.
yeah, it's a fun game.
Apparently, there's DLC too.
Yeah, there's like the Secrets of Dr. Wu DLC. Which
He's
I thought
evil.
I bought. Which I thought I bought but apparently I bought the complete pack of Surviving Mars because I was so convinced that was the game I was going to want. And I was like, vanilla Jurassic World is fine. And now I'm like, I totally wish I'd done that backwards. But
No, well, the deluxe edition only gave you like 5 additional dinosaurs. You still would have to have bought the DLC anyway.
no, they had like some gold version with that.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Yeah, the whole thing bundle, I think.
I should have waited.
Yeah. Oh, always. You always get. That's another
Always
thing.
wait.
Games industry, stop punishing for buying your fucking games early. Like, seriously, like that pisses me off that like early adopters get fucked in the gaming world. Game of the Year versions,
Think about-
gold editions, everything.
Yeah, well, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, like the super deluxe ultimate whatever version, is like $35 right now.
It's cheaper than the season pass right now.
Yeah,
The season pass costs more than the deluxe version that includes the season
yeah.
pass.
The deluxe version, like when it first sold, was like $120.
Yeah.
and it's down to $35 now.
Also, pro tip: that game is $20 everywhere this week.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I just
Go
like
get
it's. I feel like you could do something that rewards people that were there the whole time.
Yeah,
you got
I think
play
that's
when
what-
it came out.
I
man.
think that's what the day one stuff was supposed to be back when it started,
Yeah, but
but
that was
that
all-
it never worked out that
9
way.
times out of 10, it was a special box.
Yeah.
like didn't even have anything.
Yeah, or the DLC was like, oh, well, your car is like a slightly different shade of purple now. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was dumb.
I like that Forza just literally just puts a crown next to your name or whatever. It's like this person's a VIP.
Oh, and then
Well-
you got Ubisoft ones where it's like, you can unlock special things if you're in the closed or open beta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all dumb. Video games are dumb.
They are.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's pretty dumb.
I feel like if like you've played a certain number of hours, like you could do some sort of metric, like not just like, hey, I bought this game and I never touched it, but like if you were like loyal to the game from the get go, like give me some sort of deal
Yeah.
on buying the season pass later or whatever you put out later. I don't know. It's just
money, man.
loyalty things.
Got to get that money.
And so many other loyalty systems work, in retail and whatnot. Like, why can't we do it in games?
Video games aren't video games anymore. They're an industry.
Sure.
That's why.
So, BJ.
Yeah, I had a segue for a moment, and then we kept talking.
Sorry.
And it's
It
okay.
always happens that way.
It's okay. I'm prepared to go into this dry. Conan Exiles. You may have heard of this game. It is a game where you roleplay being in the Conan world, and that went
You
way
gonna
more.
be in the Conan's world?
Is that their game with the dong slider?
Is,
Yes,
is,
it
is, that,
is the
is that on
game.
TBS now?
Yeah.
Conan's world.
Conan's.
It is the game with the dong slider.
Tell us what is good in life. Is it this game?
It is certainly fucking not this fucking game.
Now you said this 2 months ago. Two
Yeah.
months ago, you were like, "Hey, have y'all played this Conan game? It sucks." And we were like, "Yeah, it sucks. Don't play it." And
I
you're
played it.
still playing it.
I am still playing it. The only reason that I'm still playing it is because I have a group of friends who are still playing it. It's us versus the game at this point. And we are not going to win, but we will at least get to the end game. And I paid money for this game, so it's the game that this group of friends is playing. I'm going to keep playing it. But at least the PlayStation 4 version of this game is the most broke up, janky ass, dim-witted, bad AI and UI piece of garbage I have played in a long time.
Is its mother also fat?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not that would make any difference because it's fine if you're overweight. Whatever. Trying to get better about all that.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm not trying to get better about this fucking game though. It is such a lazy, like, I've seen it played on PC and I think it runs okay on high spec PCs, but on the PS4 it is a bad port. Like, I'm so mad at this game. It's hard for me to think straight enough to like put all of my thoughts in a logical order, but every UI movement is the opposite of intuitive. You have to basically forget everything that you know about operating in a UI in a game. Every single time I make a change to my settings, either 10 minutes later or the next time I launch the game, it has forgotten that. It is laggy as shit. It's glitchy as shit. We're renting a private server so that we don't have to like play with a bunch of fucking randos, because griefing is just the name of the game in any server that you can access that is not your own. It's all about griefing the shit out of each other. Like, for example, there is one server where everybody on the server built giant walls around the starting area so that you can't leave the starting area.
They just wanted to hear the lamentation of
I
the
guess.
players.
Yeah. How else are you going to crush your enemies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See them driven mad before you.
Right. About once every few days, the stamina system just breaks, so it drains at twice the speed it normally should.
Me too.
Yeah, I guess it is
Same.
lifelike in that way. But just
You might have an exile dysfunction.
an exile dysfunction, nice. Things like when you die, your body is supposed to be, in a space where you can go retrieve your loot. About 3/4 of the time, when you get back to your body, it's gone for no reason. Theoretically, there would be a timer, but they just will disappear at random or fall through the earth. Sometimes you'll fall through the earth, or you'll hit a rhino and it'll, hit a rhino with your sword and it'll disappear into space.
The rhino?
Yeah.
Oh. Or I didn't know if your sword disappeared into space or the rhino.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if either happened.
Okay.
Just every time I turn
Space
around,
rhino.
there's a new fucking broken piece of shit about this game. And, like, it's some sort of glitch or it's some sort of lag. And I think the thing that frustrates me the most about the entirety of the Conan experience is that there's a really fucking cool game in here somewhere. Like, if they had spent maybe $10 or $20 more than the $10 or $20 that they spent to make this fucking game, there'd be a cool fucking game in here. Because it's like you get to do there's a bunch of base building, you get cool swords, you can make a bunch of cool outfits, you could make a castle if you want, there's elevators, and like the world that they've built, the physical world, is full of cool shit. You just can't do any of it for more than 3 minutes without getting frustrated as shit at trying to play the game. Somewhere in there's some, like, there's gold, and it's just so far buried so far beneath this permafrost of janky bullshit that you're never ever going to see it unless you're never going to see it. At least on PS4. Maybe it's a little bit different on PC, but I have not heard that much better on PC. All I know is that it runs a bit smoother on PC. So,
It's going to be free on Steam next weekend.
oh yeah?
Yeah.
So I'll get to find out. I will do my research because my PC is reasonably spec'd.
All right.
I should be able to play a video game. So I'm going to find out, and I will report back next month unless I have thrown my PC out the window.
I will say it's still janky, but it's smooth. Like, I mean...
Okay, so
I mean-
you've played it on
yeah,
PC? Okay.
Yeah, I have it on PC.
At least it's smooth.
Well, I mean, like, there are still... I mean, if it didn't have something to do with Arc, I feel like then they just, like, secretly stole their assets. Because, like, it...
I think they used base Unity. Like, I think they both used a bunch of base-ass Unity assets.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not made in conjunction with the same people, then they just straight up stole stuff because so much of Conan is exactly how Arc works. Like, and just the wheel of doing things and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and not the wheel of pain.
Right.
You know, maybe it's a wheel of pain in the ass, depending on your level.
Yes, it is. Wheel of pain in the ass is how I would describe my Conan experience.
The tree of woefully underdeveloped.
Right. I honestly, having seen some Arc and seen some Conan, they're both made in Unity, aren't they?
Probably. I don't know.
No, I'm sorry, not Unity. I'm so used to hearing
Unreal?
Unreal. Yeah, I'm so used to hearing like
Unity.
somebody ranting about stolen Unity assets.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think they're just based on real assets, and it's just
Yeah. I'm saying like the motion is smoother. There's just still a lot of like broken gameplay elements.
yeah. Well, we shall see.
Mm-hmm.
I have had there have been very few games where I have like something's happened and I've just shut the console off and walked away, or there have been very few times when something frustrating has happened in a game and I've just turned it off and walk away. And Conan Exiles has the majority of those moments of my gaming career. Yeah. I can't wait for everybody to get tired of this game so I never have to return to it. Honestly.
A ringing endorsement.
That sounds
Yeah.
pretty good.
Conan Exiles. Fuck that game.
All right. Well, a game I enjoy way more than Conan Exiles.
I tried to
guess.
leave you a segue with the return thing.
Yeah. I returned to Forza Horizon 4.
There we go.
Yeah. It's a good game.
That is a good game.
I know.
I know.
You know.
I was still trying to get those last couple billboards in the game. Someone had told me you got to unlock more danger ramps. I don't think I can. I think I unlocked them all, and I still can't get to a couple spots that I would need to land on the roof of a building. I don't know how to do it. Like I legit do not know how to do it, and of course because of the nature of that game, it's almost impossible to look up like someone doing it on YouTube.
I can offer one suggestion.
What's that?
If
Don't
you-
ever try.
No, if you hang out at one long enough,
Yeah.
you'll see somebody come by in the world and do it.
Really?
Yeah. That's how I've gotten a few of the ones that seem weird.
Look at the big brain on Chuck.
It's just like, that one's on a roof. I don't know how to get up
Yeah,
there. I'll
with
just
no
park
ramp
here
nearby.
and just you'll see like a icon on the map coming towards it, and you just like, oh, okay, they hit that hill. I see what car they're in. do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because I have like 3 stars on, I think, almost every danger zone jump that I can see on the map.
yeah,
Because I think I'm level 11 or 12 now.
Okay.
Because I know I got the sweet cheeve for being level 10 in danger ramps.
level 10 in danger.
Yeah. Yeah. I still see Harlow's complaints with it as far as rubber banding goes, because certain events, like, it's really weird in that I can do the rewind. Like, I can miss a turn real bad. Like, not real bad, but that guy makes a better turn, and suddenly he's, like, a half lap ahead of me and, like, never loses ground no matter what I do. And if I just hit rewind and I get past him on that turn, he can never catch me.
Yeah.
Like he's just like stuck behind me by a quarter lap, no matter what.
I just feel like if it wasn't just one car every time, it would feel more natural. But it's like here's 6 guys that suck, and you and one other person are pretty good. It's just like because you will pass the entire
Yeah.
crowd except for one.
Yep.
And I still have no idea why drift events are in that game,
They suck.
because drifting is so antithetical to actual good driving. Like the kind of driving Forza is encouraging you to do.
I feel like there's members of the team that can't let go of Project Gotham. Like they're just like, I don't care how far we get. It's like we still
But-
made Project Gotham, so
But you know what?
kudos. And
Project
shit.
Gotham was, like, as far as the kudos stuff goes and
Yeah.
the drifting goes,
Right.
Project Gotham was way better at
Well,
it.
because it was a street race thing.
Yeah.
I'm saying like there's still some people who are like, we made an open world game. Gotta have drift events. Kudos. Yeah, like it's like,
God.
no.
But and at least if you're going to do that, like, replicate how, like, the ticking sound it made when it was giving you kudos.
Yeah.
There was something incredibly satisfying about that specific sound.
It was a real tactile thing where it was just like, I know I'm doing it. I can keep doing it. The sound is
Yeah, and it was like it would ramp up in just the right way.
Yep.
But yeah. I will probably remain at like 0 on drift events, because fuck them. Like the game, it teaches you every possible way not to drive like that, and then until you get to a drift event, and it's like, all right, now you might want to drift.
yeah.
Good luck figuring it out. Bye. So, yeah, but
Yep.
that game's still good. I need to, like, wrap up my doing everything in the main island, because I've yet to do Fortune Island.
Yeah. Fortune Island's okay.
Just okay.
It's okay.
That must mean it's bad.
No,
I'm
I
still
mean,
using Chuck metrics.
it's
Welcome to Chuck Metrics.
it's good and interesting in that it's got some really crazy weather stuff going on, but I also feel like the main island has some pretty crazy weather going on depending on what season you're in, so it's not that much of a it's not that like ooh, it's not like
Blizzard Mountain.
exactly. It's not like just oh my god, you go up there and it's goddamn you can't see anything. It's white out everywhere. This you get over there and it's like, yeah, it's raining over here too. Yeah, I almost slid into the sea because these roads, the fences on these roads are fucking balsa wood. I mean, it's just, yeah. There's some interesting things to do there. There's a weird treasure hunt thing you do over there where the radio host lady gives you clues and you have to drive to certain spots based on the clues in a certain car. It's weird.
Huh. All right.
It's all right. I'm kind of interested. I think it's about time they announce whatever the next thing is now.
They need to.
Yeah.
I paid my $100.
Exactly.
Give me my second one
Yeah,
that I'm
give-
not going to play.
Give me the thing where it's in space or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's do the big dumb crazy
Space
one.
cars.
Space cars. Yep. The fourth one is always when they go to space, right?
Yeah.
It's Forza Horizon 4. Let's do this.
Forza Zero. Just be like F-Zero. but-
Yes.
Give me F-Zero. I want F-Zero. That's all I want for Christmas this year is F-Zero 2
Yeah.
or whatever. 3, I don't know. Did they make an F-Zero 2? I don't care. I want a current gen F-Zero.
Okay.
They've made multiples F-Zero.
They made Super F-Zero and F-Zero 64.
Well, F-Zero was on the Super
Right.
Nintendo, so.
Oh. Shit.
I don't know.
That was probably it.
But
then.
there have been multiple F-Zero.
I want
F-Zero
F-Zero on
GP.
I want on my Xbox. Yeah. I want
F-Zero
F-Zero X.
There it is.
Would that just
Oh.
be Fox?
F-Zerox.
Oh.
Technically.
Zero Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Metal Zero Foxed.
My brain. Stop.
That's a good
So-
driving game, Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah.
Do you know what the best driving game is?
What?
What is it?
I am going full 360 degrees from my previous game discussion.
Okay, I'm going to allow that.
Right, yeah, I thought you would.
I give you PlayStation 3 points because it was also on that.
Thank you. No, I was just making jokes.
Okay.
No, full 180 from the hate that I was espousing a few minutes ago. So the same group that I've been playing Conan with, we were like, we got to play something other than Conan for one night at least.
Okay.
That sounds good for your health.
Praise the person who has said this.
Yeah. And we were trying to come up with ideas, and I happened to notice that Burnout Paradise was $6.99 on the PlayStation Store, or like $4.99 for PS Plus.
Yeah.
I was like, guys,
Yeah.
who's got Burnout? And they're like, none of us. I'm like, all of you are buying it now. And we ended up with 5 or 6 of us playing Burnout. We started at like 8 o'clock and we played till midnight. And it was the most glorious fucking fun I have had in such a long time. Not only catharsis from, getting away from that fucking atrocious other game that I will stop mentioning, but
Conan Sky.
yeah. It's worse than No Man's Sky. Fuck you. Burnout Paradise is fucking great. Like, everything about that game is right. We had one problem that a couple people had, which is, and fair warning, if you play Burnout Paradise for the first time, before you get into an online thing, before you get into Freeburn with your friends,
Right.
just let the game tell you to go do a few things. Like, it's going to make you repair your car and go get a new car, and you'll basically want to get to the point where it gives you your learner's permit. After that, you can go into Freeburn. You won't have very many cars, but at that point, you can go into Freeburn, and it'll let you do stuff. So we had that problem with a couple people, which is just basically a patience thing.
It's like the 7 hours of Forza Horizon 4 you have to play before it opens up into you can play other people.
Yeah.
It's really weird that way.
But this is only like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So do that, get through it, and then we were hooning around at the airfield, jumping through shit. We're taking each other down. We didn't do any fucking races because that's fucking stupid. Why would you do that?
Exactly.
We just did challenges, and they were so. It wasn't this way when it originally launched, because the some of the challenges and restarts and shit were a little bit broken. But the way it is now, all patched up and everything, that shit just works. Like, you hit challenge, it knows how many players you have in the group. You go down to whatever challenge you do it, and that's all we did for like 3.5, 4 hours was we did challenges and did like, oh, hey, we managed to jump over this. Let's see if we can do a 360-degree flat spin off of it. Or let's see if we can all all get in a line and jump through the gray fuselage section in the airfield. Or how many barrel rolls can you do into the quarry? Shit like that.
Did everyone playing know where North was?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. I did have to, because they do the map, like the mini map, a little bit differently than a lot of games do now. Like, a lot of games, the mini map follows you around. This one stays persistent.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, "Well, what do you mean? Is the mini map north, south, east, west like it should be?" And I was like, "Yes." He's like, "Oh, okay, all right, be there in a sec." It was no problem. I think there were a couple people. It took maybe 10 or 15 minutes to sort of figure out Burnout driving, but after that, man, it's
real good.
It's intuitive. It works. It's a fucking masterpiece. Like, Burnout Paradise remastered is the greatest game of this generation. Like, it's fucking perfect. I love it.
Can't argue with that. I mean,
It's so fucking good.
if they remastered Dead Space, I may have a fight, but
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
You'd be allowed to argue that.
Yeah.
They did. It's on the PC.
But yeah,
Just saying it. There it is.
Yeah.
That's why you don't get remastered of these things that were on PC. 'cause
I
they'll
know.
just be like, go play it there. Turn all the things on.
Yeah.
I
need to do that.
I continually can't believe every time I pick up Burnout Paradise, just
Good things happen.
that game, it doesn't fucking age.
Nope.
It's fucking perfect. It's wonderful.
Yep.
Burnout Paradise so much.
Yeah.
And if you don't own it, it's like I said, like $5 on PlayStation.
It's on sale
Network.
all the time.
It's super cheap and
EA
and
needs
worth it.
money.
Yeah, sure.
Every time I see it on sale, I'm like, I wish there was a way to buy this again. Like,
You could buy it on other platforms.
I have it on both.
You can gift it to people.
I guess, yeah, you can do that now.
You were going to burn out Paradise.
yeah.
I think I've bought it 3 or 4 times now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and hit us up if you ever out there. If you're out there in Paradise City, hit us up for some free burn challenges.
There you go.
We'll head over to the country club with you.
Yeah, head northwest to the observatory with the No Quarters crew.
Head west to the wind farm.
Yeah, we'll
Head
do
to
all
Wildcat
that.
Stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will never turn down if anyone's like, hey, you want to play some Burnout Paradise later? I'm like, yes, I do, and I will. Whatever game I'm playing, I will not
Yeah.
play that. I will play Burnout Paradise.
Yep. I think I'm down to 12 races left in
Yeah.
the main game.
Nice.
I still need to get whatever license is above your Burnout license. Was it? There's something like
Elite.
Elite. Yeah, I still need to go.
That's
do that.
that's the one I'm 12 short on now. Because it's like basically it's like, all right, do every race again,
Yeah,
Yep.
and that is rough.
it is.
It's a lot, but it's doable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The burning laps are the hard ones, where it's like, okay, you got this
Yes.
specific car, got to do
Burning
that.
routes, yeah.
Yeah, those are the hard ones.
Yeah,
You have to
there's like-
redo all of those.
Not the burning routes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But everything else.
I love the burning
That's
routes.
why I did the
those
burning
are my,
routes to unlock everything going forward, because I knew I was going to have to redo everything else. So I was just like, all right,
Yeah.
any burning route you give me, I'm going to do that now.
Those are. I think those are my favorites. The burning routes, even though they
They-
can be kind of dickish at times.
Yeah, but they give you the most white knuckle, like, man,
Yeah.
am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? And yeah.
It's like I can't pull the trigger any harder.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You
3
end up
seconds
with
left. I see the finish line. Oh,
serious
please, please,
claw
please.
hands. Just
Yeah.
I don't want to catch that one edge and tumble off into oblivion.
Right. Oh no, I hit a step.
Yeah.
Now
I hit
my
a-
car has literally exploded.
I hit a leaf and Thanos snapped his fingers.
My car is dust.
I believe all of our gamer tags are on the website still, like
Yep.
for PlayStation and Xbox and probably Steam as well.
Yeah. See what we look like probably about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think there's a no quarters group in there as well.
Yeah,
on-
there's
on
one-
Xbox.
Yes.
There's one for
So-
PlayStation. There's a No Quarters community. So if you're ever interested in playing games with us, find it. I think it's the only one that's No Quarters
Yeah.
anywhere.
If you can't find it, ask us. You're obviously listening, so you know how to get in touch
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah.
So
We're on Twitter.
we are.
At No Quarters Net.
Somewhat, yeah. Oh, yeah. Collectively,
Yes,
we're on
the
that.
show is. Ask
Yeah.
the show, and someone will respond to you.
I believe our Twitters are also our personal Twitters are also on the website or something
Probably.
somewhere.
They're in. The,
You can fucking find it.
Yeah, you can find mine before I delete it on my 10-year anniversary.
There you go.
Yep.
Man.
However,
Locked down and then deleted, huh?
however, if you want to actually meet us
In person.
in person,
Yeah.
there is a pinball convention happening here in Jacksonville, Florida.
What?
Next weekend.
Yeah.
We didn't
Yeah.
give you a lot of notice. Sorry.
Yeah, Friday, March 8th through Sunday, March 10th.
Mm-hmm.
At the Morocco Shrine Auditorium.
Yep.
Yeah.
Retro
Yes.
Jacks,
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not just pinball. There's retro other things.
yeah, like toys,
like
and
us.
games and comics
Right.
and all that sort of thing.
Come hang out with your favorite throwback podcasters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This,
People still doing podcasts.
Swords of Fury will be there.
Yes, it is on
I
the
saw
list.
it was on the list. Was Grand Lizard?
Yes.
I believe, yeah.
Yes.
Wow, haven't seen Grand Lizard.
Grant-
Yeah.
Since the first game,
Like the
Oh.
fucking hits
Yeah.
are coming.
I, was
I think I saw one.
Whitewater is not there,
last
which I was a little disappointed in.
last Grand Lizard I saw was that place in Austin, Texas. That one.
I thought we saw one at a. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I'll be.
There was
I'll be
one
hanging out by
recently,
the
I
Grand
think,
Lizard.
in like
Actually, you're right.
Atlanta, and it
Yeah.
was shitty.
Yeah.
It was
And
bad.
we were like, this one sucks.
Hopefully, this is a shopped out one that we
Yeah.
saw at Game Warp.
And possibly my ex pinball table will be there.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Come
Oh,
check
yeah,
out
Big
Harlow's
Guns
Big
is gonna
Guns.
be
Big
there.
Guns is on the list. There are 2 of the Beatles machines, the newest Stern table.
Yeah, my
So,
dad will be pumped about that
Yeah.
one.
Oh, your dad's coming.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I bought him the VIP pass,
Nice.
so he gets a T-shirt.
Oh, he gets to have elite breakfast.
Yeah.
Wait.
We will be there at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
What?
I'm
What's
get-
this elite breakfast? Tell me
You
more.
get breakfast with the pinballers.
Like on Saturday. On Saturday, it normally opens at 11, but
Yeah.
if you have the VIP pass, you can get there at 9.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are they
And also,
actually
you can
serving
stay there
breakfast?
till midnight instead of 11.
and they
God,
feed you.
that's a long time.
Did I buy this? I don't know if I bought my.
I'm going to buy mine tomorrow because I've been
Yeah.
silly.
I was like, VIP, let's just do it.
I know they have some left.
I
That's
owe it
That's
to
why we
him.
work.
Yeah. But anyway, this is like the first time. This one's interesting because it's the first time there's been like a convention thing attached to it. It's not just an arcade pinball
Yeah.
show. Like they've always had like booths and artists and stuff, but this sounds like a legit convention plus
Yeah, it's a
arcade.
Retro convention.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
So-
which was a smart way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, because
For
they
the
they had
Jacksonville
trouble.
one,
Yeah.
it was the only way it was going to work. My concern is just like, what is the crowd going to be like?
it might get weird, but that might be the fun of it.
Also,
So-
we live here, so we can just go home,
Right.
or you know,
Yeah, it is like right down the road
yeah,
from my house.
we can just pal around. I mean, it's not going to be that offensive if it's overly crowded because it's like, well, we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, if it's overcrowded, then it's a good.
yeah.
yes,
We'll
If it's
just all go
overcrowded-
to M Shack and get burgers.
yeah, because like this is a show that was here for 2 years and then went
Yeah.
away.
It used to be Jack's Arcade Expo.
Expo.
Yeah, if you remember us talking about that.
Yeah, but this is a new location. It's got a new sponsor. It's got a billion sponsors, and
Yeah.
like I said, it's a convention also. So come
Yeah,
put
it's-
on a Transformers outfit and play video games and
Yeah, all that
buy
shit.
art.
Come dress like an anime and
Uh-huh.
sell a toy or buy a toy. I don't
Buy
I
a
don't know how
toy,
that works.
dress an anime,
Yeah.
play a pinball.
Right.
That's
All those things.
that's the tagline. I don't know.
We're doing
Either-
such
either
a
way.
great job.
Either way,
I'm
we will
sorry,
be there.
Randy.
Yeah.
if
It'll
you
be a
ever
good
did.
time.
Yes,
There will be good machines there.
yes. The
So-
list is real good.
That's like, honestly, to me, that's like the big one, is like knowing that, oh shit, this machine that
Yeah.
I never get to play is going to be there.
Yeah.
So
One of the great things about this is it's partly thrown by some guys who are serious arcade collectors.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have a barn full of pinball and arcade machines. They drive all over the southeast collecting this shit, restoring it.
God, I feel like they get a new one every week. They post in their little
They get like
on their little
5
group.
new ones every week. It's
Yeah.
wild. They're really dedicated, and I'm really glad that they're able to put some of their collection on show and help others put their collections on show, and we get to go play some motherfucking pinball.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll put their Papa Shot up.
Pop shot.
They have the Papa Shot there.
I think yes. I think
I
that-
felt bad that we were in this mecca of pinball machines and arcade games, and here I am at the Papa Shot for like an hour straight.
That thing's a fucking cool thing, though. Like
Yeah,
you
it
almost
is.
never get one of those on free play and get to go. Okay,
Let me learn how to actually do this.
let me
right?
dial this in a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's sort of like how we kept hitting the punching bag thing too.
Well, yeah. That you can walk by it every once in a while and just hit the button and then wail on it.
Yeah.
I love the punching bag thing.
So good. Anyway, speaking of good,
Yeah.
you want some emails?
We have emails?
I do, but I want to throw in one thing that I saw.
You better make it quick.
I saw an arm wrestling arcade machine at the movie theater last night that was called Over the Top, and I just
Oh,
Okay.
it was
can
real
you
weird.
defeat it by going over the top?
I assume so.
Do you do the weird thumb thing and
I
like
didn't
the
touch
weird
it.
cheating maneuver that Stallone does?
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Like,
Did
doing
you
a
win?
little
Did you
twirl
win,
around.
win one for Mike Hawk?
Yeah.
I'm always winning one for my cock. If
Appreciate
you know what
appreciate
I mean.
All right. So emails,
Yes.
listeners, have emails for us.
Great. Now we have them.
Jay from Vegas says, back into Final Fantasy 14. Hey, No Quarters crew. Jay from the prequel to Fallout New Vegas here, and I got back into Final Fantasy 14.
Well.
That's how he said it. I took a break around the time my dad died and came back for Blue Mage. For those unaware, Blue Mage learns enemy moves and uses them as spells. While Blue Mage was fun for the weekend, it took me to learn the spells and level it to cap. I'm now focusing on crafting and finishing story content before the new expansion hits in July. They've announced a new class called Gunbreaker that uses the Gunblade from Final Fantasy VIII, and rumors are the third new job will either be Dancer or Geomancer. I'm okay with either, but since this will be a healer, the idea of shaking your ass and grinding your hips to mend wounds amuses me endlessly. I may take a break for new Yoshi, but don't see much in 2019 that really interests me. Here's to hoping we get Cyberpunk 2077 sooner rather than later. Ghost Ride the Ramp, Jay out, sent from my Xbox 360 20GB hard drive with my Final Fantasy 11 install.
What the fuck?
I didn't understand-
Is Final Fantasy even?
He made all that up. None of that's real.
Yeah,
I
No way.
understood those
This-
words, but not in that
This
order.
reminds me of Moonpier's email to Doctor Who U explaining the rules of cricket.
Oh, right.
Where I was like, nah, this is bullshit. He's lying. And then at the end, he's like, yeah, I lied about half of that.
Good job.
That's
man.
how I feel
remember
like Jay at the end of this should have been like, no, I only meant half of that.
I remember that. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I heard.
I want
Anyway-
a level 75 Geostorm or whatever
Yeah.
they are.
You have a Geostorm?
I don't know, whatever he was talking about. That sounds
Well,
like fun.
all I can say
1975
is-
Geos.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're enjoying it, Jay.
Yes. It's good to enjoy things.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think any of us are going
Was
to
that-
join you on that.
14 or 15?
14.
14?
14.
14 is that one you tried to get me to play, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've never had opportunity to apologize for that, and I'm still not going to.
15 is one with like 3 different parts. No, 13 is, right?
Well,
They made
They
like
all
are.
4 different games.
well, they all are. But
13
no, but
has
I
3
think
entries.
it's 11 and 14 are the MMO
Online
ones, right?
Mimosas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mimosas.
Morphagas.
Mimosas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. And 15 is the one that came out.
15's the one with cars. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
15's the one that's like
Kids.
edgy
And
douchebag.
they
Yeah.
can play pinball and stuff. I
But they
think.
live in like Oregon or some shit.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's like it's weird because it's like Super Mario Odyssey, but like with Final Fantasy people. Where
Yeah.
like, hey, here's some spiky haired anime kids driving around realistic looking backgrounds.
Yeah, driving down Route 66 fighting dragons. What the fuck is this?
Man,
What the fuck is
you
any
know, I
Final
gotta be
Fantasy
honest,
about?
You're kind of selling me on Final Fantasy when you put it that
looks
way.
really good.
It
I mean,
does.
like even the main thing that keeps me from playing any of these Final Fantasies, we're like, well, the real game doesn't really start until like 30 hours in. I'm like,
that's yes,
nope, nope.
right.
Yeah, I love any game that's like, oh yeah, here are the rest of the moves after
Yeah.
you spent a work month in it. Yeah. Anyway, next one up from Kyle
Hey, Kyle.
at Marvel Zombie 616.
He should be showing up any second now.
Yeah, he'll be
Yeah,
here.
Kyle always shows up right at the end of the
Yep.
of the live stream. But anyway, he says, games.
Oh, I like it.
Oh yeah,
But-
that's
Hey, No Quarters crew, Kyle here.
Hi, Kyle.
It's still early 2019 and gasp. I've played 2 2019 releases.
Oh, congratulations.
I started the year with Onimusha Warlords Remaster and followed up with Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Okay.
Oh,
These
that doesn't count.
Kyle. Kyle.
Oh, there's Kyle right on fucking cue.
Shows up in the live stream just in time.
I think well, we did say his name like 3 times. So
Yeah,
that's-
he
Yeah,
appeared-
we
yeah.
summoned him.
We all said
Yeah.
Kyle.
Anyway, he says, Onimusha was a trip down memory lane I was glad to take, odd camera angles and all. However, being a remaster, it doesn't feel much different. Now, Resident Evil 2, I really love what they did. It feels extremely fresh while retaining everything that makes it classic survival horror. It's modern control on late 90s sensibilities, and apparently that's a sweet spot for me. Playing them back to back, I did prefer the full remake over the remaster. So this brings me to my question for you fellas. What PS1, PS2, or original Xbox era games would you like to see updated via a full remake, not just remastered? I think a remake of something like PsyOps, The Mindgate Conspiracy would be cool. Take care, guys, and catch you in a couple minutes when the live stream is about to end. Kyle at Marvel Zombie 616 sent for my chat post asking, did I miss it?
You didn't miss it. You made it.
Yay.
You made it in time for our
He literally
answers.
made
You
it in
already know
time.
what you asked. Blood Wake.
Blood Wake.
Crimson Skies.
Yeah.
I knew
what's Blood Wake?
Oh, it's a fucking...
It's Twisted Metal with boats.
yeah, it's boats and guns.
Oh.
Yeah.
Speaking
and
of which,
guns
man,
and boats.
Twisted Metal could be pretty fucking cool.
Twisted Metal could be
I feel
rad.
like they just
If
need
they
to make
actually-
another one.
They just
Yeah.
they made one.
when
It was like either early PS4 or late PS3.
there's what was the last one? Twisted Metal Black?
I think it was a remake of
No,
Black.
yeah. I think
That was
so.
a
I think
long
they-
time
No,
ago.
there was a Twisted Metal. They just called it Twisted
Yeah.
Metal, but it
Oh.
was multiplayer only, and it was just not. I don't think it was what
Okay.
you wanted from the late PS3 era, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Demolition
yeah,
Derby.
I've really wanted to play. Yeah, Demolition Derby is. I played so much of that on my damn PC, and 2 is really good
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
but in very
Phenomenal.
different ways.
Yep.
And for some reason from that game, whenever I see a car crashed on the road, I always say, "Your car's wrecked." Always,
Really,
never
I
fails.
was like in quadrophone.
Yep.
we all know that because it's the exact same thing I think all
Yep.
the time.
Oh, I love it. But yeah, him talking about Resident Evil 2, I really want to play that. That looks like extremely my shit because it's basically, hey, we took it, we kind of made it control like Dead Space.
Yep.
It's like, yep, sign me up.
Well, the
And then X going to give it to you, running through the levels.
yeah, the first Resident Evil remake, the new remake, uses the same updated controls and everything, and it's great. I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it kind of makes me want them to do like Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 3 in this manner.
Well, they
where
did
it's
one.
like,
That's what I'm saying. They
I thought they just did a remaster like with the camera angles and shit.
no.
Really?
That was a. That
so
was,
I need to get one then.
Yeah,
I didn't even
it's-
realize that happened.
Yeah, it's not. It's so they like remade it on the GameCube and then later remade it again. It's out on Xbox One and PS4, basically,
Okay.
and it plays really well. And they
Yeah,
kind of
I
changed
need-
it up a little bit. It's not exactly the same,
But does it control like 2 does?
it's
where
not
it's like
tank
the-
controls. It's
where it's the
it's
over the
modern
shoulder-
video game
Okay.
movement.
Then
Yeah,
I might have to get that then.
yeah. No, the first one.
But 2 is like everything I've seen of 2 looks really fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah. I man, if there was an easy way to play a better looking Theme Hospital, I would play the shit out of that because I played the shit out of Theme Hospital on the PS1.
Yeah.
That was a great game. There's probably like 75 games on each system that I would say, yeah, make that available somehow.
I know it sounds generic, but Grand Theft Auto Vice City. If you were to remake that and it didn't look like utter dog shit,
Yeah.
And,
I would-
and fix the controls, like make it like
yeah,
modern
yeah,
to-
like
Yes.
give it controls that actually work. Because I have the whatever re-release version is, and you try and go back to that, and it's like, oh no,
It's still
like everyone has
janky
paddle
as shit,
hands,
yeah.
and it's weird to think that like the era that game is doing, it was closer to that era than we are to
Yes.
Grand Theft Auto
Yes.
Vice City.
Yes.
It was what? It was due in 1986, so it was 16 years off, but now we're further away from that than
Uh-huh.
it was. So, like, if it came out today, it would be like whatever was happening in 2003.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Culture doesn't move as quickly as it used to. Like at least as far as trends, everything kind of, I don't know, everything's blended together in this millennium. It
It's
kind
not.
of sucks.
It's not any era specific. Like I just wish we would stop getting packets of lost games, like studios that go away, and then it's like, who owns the rights to that
Yes.
asset? Like, I mean, I'm not even talking like going back to like PS1 or original Xbox era. Like, give me a way without digging out my Xbox or PS2 or whatever to play. Like, I would replay the shit out of that Raven Wolverine game. You know,
God, yes.
like things like that. Like, that's not backwards compatible. Like, nobody, it's not on anything except for maybe emulation if you can find it. It's like, just make those games that have like gone away. Like, but as far as like full blown remakes, Tenchu.
Oh yeah,
like things like
Shadow Warrior or Secret Warrior,
yeah,
whatever that was.
And then like I wish only because it was so disappointing several years ago. I wish someone would just take the original Thief game and make it a modern game.
Yeah.
not try to do a new one.
Yeah, that new Thief
like,
game was bad.
Yeah, it was real
Yeah.
bad. But like that, I'm just saying, like those early stealth games, I feel like would be really awesome. Pipe Dream, somebody takes the original first 2 Far Cries and makes them with the stuff that's in 3 going forward.
Oh wow,
Like,
yeah.
What
Like
do
I
you
mean,
mean?
I barely even remember what happens in the first Far Cry. I'm pretty sure it's just like, hey, you can hide under a building and they may not see you, and then you shoot them.
was it a more linear game
It was
anyway?
it was
Yeah.
pretty linear,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying,
it was
like,
also like there was also a bunch of sci-fi shit in the first Far Cry, wasn't there?
maybe I just remember like hiding under huts, and like it was one of the first games where it was like, you can kind of stealth this. Now, eventually, you're going to just shoot and make a lot of noise, which is pretty much what Far Cry 2 was. I'm just saying, like, Far Cry 2 was like, hey, you should do the stealthy, and then no way to take somebody down without making them, scream bloody murder.
You just shoot them before they see you. That's your stealth in Far Cry 2.
I know, but I mean, then if there's other people, they hear you, and it becomes
Yeah,
a gun
well.
battle yet. Again, I'm saying, like, give me some takedown moves in the first 2 Far Cry moves or games, and I'd play the shit out of them.
It's like Mackie when you let me borrow God Hand, and you were like, "You will love this. It is a weirdly fucked up game, and it's right up your alley." And I was like, "Yeah." And I put it in, and I played it for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, "Man, I know exactly what he's talking about here with this, but I can't play this. It is just
Yeah.
so it's just muddy and gross and doesn't feel well. It just." I hate that I on occasion I will just go to like Wikipedia and look at the list of games for the PS2, and there's probably like 100 games where I was like, man, I wish I could play that.
Yeah.
Just some of them are real dumb, like I would just do a silly video about, and then others are like, I would legit play through that game.
Like Mr. Mosquito.
yeah, yes, that is a real dumb game.
And also kind of gross.
Yeah, yes, but funny also in a weird way.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Um,
I'm
yeah.
saying now, if you made it in modern graphics, it would just be a perf machine.
oh,
Because
yes, it would because
like-
you would just be flying down cleavage.
oh.
Cleavage.
Yeah.
Kind of cleavage.
Cleveland rocks.
But yeah, I mean, okay, I've got a modded Xbox that's got all the Xbox games on it in a library. I will scroll.
Gas.
I know. I'll scroll through that, and I'm just like, when the hell did they make a Reservoir Dogs game? You know, and you start playing that, and you're like, this seems interesting but bad, but also I can't play this. It's all, you know, that era was the camera controls were bad, and
Yes.
a lot of like Banjo-Kazooie and stuff like that had like inverted movement or look controls with no way to change it. And if there was just a simple hack that lets you change simple things like that, I could still go back and play those games. But like inverted look controls and everything, I'm just like, God, no. My brain has evolved past this.
Yeah.
I can't go back.
I don't know how we like played anything but Halo back then.
Yeah.
Like, I've gone back and played a few original Xbox games on some original hardware because it was available to me, and like, fuck.
Yeah.
That stuff looks like a bunch of like
I tell you,
it's
Halo
just like
still
somebody
plays real
keep
well,
just
though.
throwing polygons at the screen.
Yeah.
But B, like the controls on, we are in such a blessed time. Controls are so good right now. We are living in a christened era of joyful controllerisms. I couldn't think of a gooder fake word than that. My words are the best. I have the best words tonight.
They are good words.
But like,
Yeah, your words are superfluous.
yes, scromulant. But yeah, like control schemes. Not only are they malleable, but they are also generally extra good. Like the fidelity that we have on controls.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think the fidelity, is the spoiled part. Because you go back to some of those old games, even with analog sticks, and it's real janky. But I do have two more that I'd like to add.
Okay.
Of a certain era. One, Whiplash.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a good game.
I really loved the way that game fucking played, and just the sensibility of that game was really cool. And on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, it was janky as shit and it was crude. But Carmageddon, I fucking loved Carmageddon.
Yeah.
I would play hours of Carmageddon, just like one map, driving straight through people.
Yes.
It was just weird fun. It was like a lot of very, very strange fun. And if we could find a way to put that game in a pretty shell and make it like Burnout.
But God, like all those 007 games.
They were bad.
Nightfire and all those fucking weird ones in the
Okay.
late
Not all of them
early
were bad.
2000s.
Like Everything or Nothing is a good game.
Okay.
That game's pretty good, and I would really like to play that Sean Connery from Russia with Love game
Oh yeah,
because that is the
original Xbox
yes,
era one, right?
that is the weirdest shit to me that they made. They just let's remake From Russia with Love as a video game. We'll get Sean Connery in here to do the voice,
Yeah.
and apparently he just is the most laziest performance he's ever given.
Well, yeah, and they like you pick one of the least
I was gonna say,
actiony
yeah,
Bond
like-
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all intrigue.
Yeah, it's like ooh, now he's on a train.
It's like My Dinner with Andre, the video game.
Yeah.
I guess that'd just be like Mass Effect, basically, though.
Yeah. So many.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I've almost bought that Crash Bandicoot remake thing.
I picked it
few
up recently.
times.
I picked
Yeah.
that up in Spyro.
I've thought about it a bunch of times.
Spyro
And it's on
looks
sale
real
right
good.
now.
Spyro looks
Man,
amazing.
those are the perfect example of what you thought a game looked like
Yes.
compared to okay, now they fixed it because like you look at what it used to look like, especially running side by side with what the remaster is. Holy shit, so much better. Anyway,
Yeah. So anyway,
Sneak King.
No.
So anyway,
No.
When are those going backwards compatible? That's what I want to know, Larry Herb, Xbox Live's Major Nelson.
last thing probably Metal Gear Twin Snakes.
Mm.
You know, like the stuff they did for GameCube.
Yeah.
I would like to see a new version of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just so I can play all the Metal Gear ones on.
I still have another one.
What?
Armed and Dangerous. That
Oh.
LucasArts game.
That game's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Is that the one with the shark gun?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as Kyle mentioned Ratchet and Clank, and whenever I think of Ratchet and Clank, I think of Armed and Dangerous because it was like a prototype of like, what wacky ass guns are we going to put in this game? How about a shark gun? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Man.
so if you want to read us, like Kyle and Jay, email us at talk@noquarters.net or wear my skull at noquarters.net, as in the location of my skull, not.
Geographically,
Yeah.
skull.
Find
Yeah.
it.
Otherwise, check us out, noquarters.net. All the socials /noquartersnet, you'll find us. And if you like what we do and you want to support us monetarily, patreon.com/bmfcast, the site of our sister show about bad movies. We got plenty of stuff, including video game playthroughs, in which we play Let's Slays, as we call them, where we play classic arcade games.
Yeah.
Or not so classic arcade. Usually not so classic
Mostly
arcade
beat 'em ups
games.
or shmups. You know,
Yep.
things like that have a linear progression and
Ups. We play ups.
With us joking over them.
Most
You
ups.
get a couple months exclusivity, so you're ahead of the curve there.
Yep.
$5 get you bonus podcasts like Doctor Who U, which is about Doctor Who, in case you hadn't figured that out. Yeah. And,
Or Torchwood
plenty of
sometimes.
plenty of other goodies. But yeah, we make it worth your $1 or $5
Yep.
or $3 or whatever. So yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
All right.
all right.
Yeah, if we don't have anything else,
That's it, I think.
Yeah.
let's
I'm
get out of
Dixon.
here.
All right.
I'm Mackie,
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And I'm Harlow.
and this is No Quarters Out.
Motherfucking video game podcast.
I feel like you were about to say, and we'll see you next time.
I felt it,
Out on Z?
almost hit me. And then I realized I shouldn't.
Just remember, guys. Rabo's a thing.
Rabu's a thing. Rabu. Fucking
That was good. Felt like that was a good podcast, y'all.
It was.
Good job.
Yeah, for a February episode. Usually it's just like,
Well, we
what
played so many damn games.
what bargain basement bullshit did you play?
Right.
What Project $10 game did you play?
What wiki hole did you take that ended you up on that?
I was looking at the list of LucasArts games because
Oh.
they made Armed and Dangerous.
Yeah.
What are you
And
looking at?
Indiana Jones and his desktop adventures.
I played that.
That's not
There's
the
a
good
Star
one.
Wars one.
Oh,
There's the
wait.
Yoda
Yeah.
Adventures too. That's one that's
No,
like
I-
tile based.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a little time waster thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Made to run in a windowed form on the desktop to limit memory use and to allow the player to perform other tasks.
Yeah.
Star
Oh,
Wars
no,
one
okay.
is Star Wars Yoda stories.
You're talking about like probably like what was it? Fate of Atlantis.
Yeah. Fate of
That's
Atlantis
what
is
I was
really
thinking
good.
of,
There was
yeah.
also Infernal Machine, which
Infernal
was
Machine
like
was
a 3D
great.
Tomb Raider type thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I've heard about a really good Indiana Jones PC game lately.
Oh shit! I just thought of two more sidebar ones, and I think they're OG Xbox. And we'll never see remakes or whatever, but like, the Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction
Oh,
was
yeah.
awesome, and the other one just went out of my head. God damn, it's another like comic related one. Holy shit! Literally just gone.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, thank you. And actually, Ultimate Spider-Man specifically. That one was
Oh, the
fucking
one where you
rad.
had it was like you
Bask
could be
in
either
my
Venom
greatness.
or Spider-Man,
Huh?
right? You could be either Venom or Spidey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that one, like, it was cell shaded and it was rad and
Mhm.
it was good.
I don't know which camera I'm on, so
Over there now.
Man,
I am so great.
LucasArts used to put out some games.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
Holy shit.
And this, I guess, this is really not the era that Kyle was requesting, but I could really jam on an X-wing game, X-wing and TIE fighters and all that shit.
I don't understand why we don't get games based on movies and things you want to do for movies anymore.
Well, like, yeah, I was gonna say that those aren't really based on like movies because they're just based on the universe in the
Right.
movies. But yeah, I'd love to have like,
Or they do something stupid like, hey, we made a Jedi lightsaber dueling thing. It's a standalone and it's not what you want it to be. Like that, whatever Jedi training system thing that they're making. That's like plastic sabers and
Right.
VR esque
Yeah.
crap. That's like it's like literally a standalone thing. It's like not even a. It's not for Oculus or PS4.
Oh,
It's
really?
Like, yeah.
You'd think, like, with the popularity of Beat Sabers,
Right.
you'd think, for one, they would be like, oh, hey, we're going to put, like, the Imperial March Techno Edition remix that we
Right.
had Daft Punk do into Beat Sabers. And also, here's our VR lightsaber dueling game. Have fun. It's like a little $30, 3 or 4 or 5 hours experience.
I really don't understand, and I know this wouldn't be like a huge cash windfall for them or anything, but why doesn't Marvel renegotiate their license deals with all these games that are defunct? Because there are no Marvel tie-in, and people would play a Marvel game.
Well, think about the fact that like they're making Ultimate Alliance 3. You can't buy 1 or 2 right now. No, actually, I guess they had those remasters. Or did they pull
I
those
think
too?
they pulled the remasters. I think the remasters ran out of their license.
I was saying like
So
we.
fucking weird.
It's
I should have bought them, but I just
But like next month, there's
go
another
back.
Star Wars original Xbox Star Wars game coming to Xbox Game Pass or Games with Gold, Republic Commando or one of those. Yeah,
because we got Jedi Knight.
yeah.
Jedi Academy.
So like all the Star Wars games are getting some kind of something. Why isn't Marvel just being like, okay, here's an old Hulk game. It's better than nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I just like I said, some of them were B tier, but like that Wolverine game was awesome. I enjoyed that Captain America game. It was like came around in first Avenger time.
Yeah,
I bet that the
Huh?
people...
Thor was all right.
Thor was okay.
It was all right.
I bet the people at Disney Marvel just have no idea. Like, they have...
down their games division. That's
Yeah, and there's probably no
yeah,
one
so they...
talking.
Yeah, nobody has any idea that stuff is
Yeah.
sitting there languishing in license hell. And they don't care.
Well, also, like, I mean, no offense, because I know you were addicted, but it's like, why make a game when you could be like, hey, new movie, now we added them to Marvel Puzzle Quest or Avengers Academy or whatever the hell
Well,
mobile
that's-
thing is, and it's like, make a big deal about it. Yeah.
I think it was the Avengers Academy.
Yeah.
that shut
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm saying whatever mobile game of the where it's just like plop an asset in there and make $50 million more for
But
doing
that's-
practically nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Why doesn't Marvel just relicense those existing games? Marvel doesn't have to do shit except collect money, collect
Yeah.
the royalties on it.
Just tell Xbox, hey, put this on back compat
Yeah.
and sell it for $4. We'll give you half.
That first wave of like
Man, if I was
Thor
in charge,
and those Iron
be
Man
making
games.
money.
Those Iron Man games that Sega made were okay.
Nickel over dollar.
What?
All right, I gotta go.
Okay.
See ya.
See you guys.
I was just saying, if I was in charge, we would be making money, just tens of dollars at a time.
Well, like why they didn't? I mean, maybe it'll happen for a sequel.
You don't have
but
to make a bunch of money on stuff.
but I mean, like, did they not know that like the Spider-Man game for the PS4 was going to be like a huge hit? I mean, I think they felt like they knew that was going to be something, like, didn't they?
Everything that I have read about the success of that game seems to be that it caught everyone by surprise. And
Right.
I'm like, no.
That was the game that
Like
everybody
everyone
has been
was talking
clamoring
about for like 2
Yeah.
plus years, and
Yeah.
then people like had. I mean, anytime somebody has a strong opinion, one way or the other, your game is getting traction.
Yeah.
So like the fact that like, oh my god, this game looks amazing. I hate the white spider suit. That should be enough to go like, oh, people are actually invested in this. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be big. And why not just coincidentally go like, hey, when this comes out, we're bundling, original PS or what would that be, like almost Dreamcast era Spider-Man game. A Spider-Man 2, like. And then, like, make a collection of like remastered like 3 games, and then when the sequel comes out, here's 3 more.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can charge $60. I don't care if it's remastered, like works on a modern thing. Like,
Well,
I don't know.
And like a thing I don't understand is like, so Activision has stopped making games and is firing everybody. Activision has the biggest back catalog of product. Why isn't there like a Rare Replay for Activision, but like in volumes of like, here's all the Atari era stuff. Here's when we moved and we're making Nintendo games. Here's
Wow, but Rare Replay did poorly, I believe, didn't it? I
I
think
don't
I think for the effort involved, because like that's one of the cases I think I learned that I don't like Rare games, but like I appreciate the package that they put together.
They
And-
put a
and-
bunch of that Sinclair stuff on there, which was a computer system that no one in the States had, so there wasn't that much appeal to it.
Sure, but what I'm saying is like we've had so many Atari Mega Bundle crap things that were so lazy, hastily thrown together, straight up emulators that you could do yourself inside of a thing that they want you to pay $20, $30 for.
Yes.
So like there's been so many bad ones and so few good ones that like I think most people just look at it and be like, oh good, another fucking Atari or Activision Atari era collection thing, whoop-de-fucking do.
I mean, I agree, but I you look at all their stuff and it's just like,
I mean, I hate to say it, and I'm not advocating going out and stealing, but like I think they just realize, unless you're talking about something that's a generation or two old, people just emulate this shit. I mean, it's just like emulation stuff has gotten so good and easy for the mainstream that it's like, why would we bother? Like,
Well, people will throw a few bucks in a collection of
Okay,
good
if
emulation.
it's done well. I'm just saying, I don't know the time to take to put together a nice package like the Rare Replay was.
Sure.
I don't think they're making the kind of money that it takes to actually put that together.
sure, but like, okay, the Activision
Disney Marvel's making so much fucking money.
Activision
man.
released 11 Spider-Man games over time.
Jesus.
11 Spider-Man games.
Too many Spider-Man.
Yes, you could argue that. Bundle them.
Too many Pete's.
I mean,
Too
just
many Pete's.
at the very least, like nine of them were on a PlayStation system.
That was like one of their yearly things there for a while. It was
Yes.
like, hey, new Spider-Man game, Web of Shadows, Shattered Dimensions.
Shattered Dimensions was good.
I'm not knocking any of them for being bad. I'm just
I know.
saying, like, it was like a cut and paste new storyline, blah blah blah.
but
Like,
what I'm saying is, like, the emulation work can be done. Like all those things, maybe aside from the PS3 stuff, because that apparently is super hard to figure out because they used a dumb cell processor
yeah.
that no one understands. But like, do a deal with Marvel. Marvel just says, yes, you can put those back out. You're going to send us this much money. Do the that would sell. You put that out there when Far From Home comes out. It's going to sell.
yeah, well, I think the gap between movies and video games is growing. As far as like, that's probably why we're not getting movie tie-ins, because like people go to the movies and don't play games or vice versa.
Yeah.
So I feel like it would have been a better tie-in to have it come out when the Spider-Man PS4 game came out, and just say like, hey, if you like this game, why don't you see where it came from and play the first 3 Spider-Man adventures from, I mean, God, what the first one's on, I mean, I said Dreamcast, but I think it was on PS1.
PS1.
Yeah, like, with like, running at 12 frames a second or something.
It was not great.
To your earlier comment, like, nerd culture is huge, right? Like, nerd culture is no longer a hide it in your closet thing. So, video games are mainstream. Nerdy movies are mainstream. I don't think you have a problem with tying those two in.
I know. I was thinking more about that comment that I don't remember who the fuck said it or what was it about, but it was somebody like, I think it was like Netflix.
And what did they say?
No. It was like, no. I think it was like somebody up high up in Netflix. It was like, it's not TV or piracy or anything. It's Fortnite. Like that's not our main competition. The main competition is like capturing these people that are just get 100%. If they're not playing the game, they're watching other people play the game. Because like that's, I'm just saying that's like culture now. It's like kids. I say kids because I mean like pretty much anyone under 25. It's like they lock into a thing, and it's like that's their life. Like 100% in on like Apex Legends or whatever the fuck it is. Like,
yeah, look, you're not going to get kids.
No.
You're not going to get kids with these like retro things. It's just not going to happen. But the
Adults have all the money anyway.
the production work is lower than building a game from scratch. It doesn't cost a lot of money to go and maybe talk to a couple people who worked on the game and get an interview and put it on there as a bonus feature.
Sure.
The Batman games worked out because 1, they were great. 2, they were coming out when Batman movies were coming out, and even though the two stories had nothing to do with one another, it was, well, okay, I saw the Batman movie, I want to be Batman, and so now I can play a Batman game. For the life of me, I will never understand why during the height of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe there was basically one modern MCU game, which is Spider-Man. Like, they're still talking about this Avengers game that Square Enix is making, but, like, no one's even revealed it yet.
Oh, that's going to be some Final Fantasy-ass open
Sure.
world
But, I mean, like,
bullshit
it didn't have...
MMO.
You don't have to tie it into the movies. You don't have to tie it into anything. Tell your own story. But if there's a Marvel game out there that someone could go, man, I love me that Thor, and you can go out and it's like, okay, let me play this Thor game that ties into some other company's Spider-Man game that ties into this Iron Man game.
You could even make it like a continuing adventures of Thor in between the games. Like, this is what Thor's been up to.
Or not even that. Just don't acknowledge that the movie universe exists and tell your own
Sure,
story.
yeah. You could do that too.
Yeah, that's why I feel like
and
the
give
PS4
Kyle
Spider-Man
a
would
Punisher game, because Kyle is here still listening to us bullshit. So give Kyle a Punisher game.
Mm-hmm.
Let him punish. I don't know what he's punishing, but let him punish it.
playing. It would be funnish to play.
Fuck you.
I just hate that there's such
I've had too many of your puns tonight. I can't stand anymore.
there are just so many.
Are they punishing?
I mean, like you were saying earlier about companies that don't exist anymore, and those games are hard to come by. But fucking Activision, like they're sitting on a library of like 500 games. Do something with it.
I know it's frustrating.
Hashtag fire Bobby Kotick.
That too. You son of a bitch.
Do we want to do our little intro-y thing for this episode?
Nah.
No? Did we stop doing that?
We haven't done one in 3.
Oh, really? I could have swore we did one for the Fodies.
We did not.
Wow. All right. Fine. Fair enough. Shutting it down now. I'm gonna. I'm turning. I'm turning it off. I'm turning it off.
It's fun. I haven't gotten to talk about video games with people I like for a while.
Oh, well, good luck. Eventually, one day it'll happen.
People I like.
Oh,
Yeah, not that like me.
oh, I'm still relevant. Still counts.
Under condition.